It is all right. Haiko imeanza. I was setting up, yeah, but now I'm set. Iko ready? No, no, no. Just now log in. Haina mambo. Yeah, it is that I had not started the meeting. It has started. Yeah, nimeshaiwakisha, so people are joining.
Hi, Dan. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Madam Catherine.
I'm fine, thank you. And you, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. And welcome to today's webinar on coaching skills, which is your field.
Thank you. Don't you see the way I'm excited?
Yes, that I realize that.
I'm very excited because it's coaching. Yeah. So very happy. And thanks for the opportunity to let me facilitate today's webinar.
So I would want to hand over to you so that you can continue with the training. I want to leave this room in the next 2 minutes en route to Nairobi. I'm in Kisumu, so I think I should just leave. But I hope everything is going to be fine. In the back end, I'm going to add any participant who will be joining the webinar. So I wish you a very nice training.
Yeah,
I hope
you know what, then
before,
you froze like for 10 minutes.
yeah, I know. I'm sorry. And I hope by the time the webinar is ending, I'll be able to join you at that time. So thank you and welcome everyone. Joseph Nganga, Salasayo, Robert Okumu, Telesia, Diana Nyanga, Beatrice, Wangui Wachira, Amos Dadho, karibuni sana. Madam Catherine, over to you.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Then you'll be able to add the participants as they come in and make them panelists so that they can be able to participate.
I will be able to do that.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So thank you. So good morning, everybody. How you doing? Unmute yourself. Say hello. It's nice to see you all. Amos, Beatrice, Diana, Joseph, Robert, Sarah, Teresa, Wangui Wachira. Good morning, everybody.
Morning, Catherine, and the rest of the team.
Yes, thank
Hello.
you. Thank you. Yeah.
Good morning. Good morning, Catherine.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Yeah. Yeah. I like Diana's profile picture. Here is to a job well done. Yeah, that's nice. We hope that everybody is keeping well. They are doing a job well done. You know, the week has been good. You've been able to achieve some of the things that you wanted to do, whether they were heavy projects, whether it was just your routine work that demands a lot of concentration and perfection. I hope that you're able to achieve that. And of course, really nice that we are into December, the holiday season. I'm sure everybody is excited, looking forward. It's been a difficult year, no doubt. There are jokes about the year as well, which lighten our moments. Where did 2020 go to? Go away. And welcome 2021. We hope that it's going to be good tidings. Just our ability to be able to be resilient and navigate through 2020. I think we deserve a pat on our backs, and we cannot also fail to recognize God's grace and mercy upon us. So nice, yeah. So I would like us to begin with a word of prayer so that we get the momentum going and stuff like that. Who would like to pray for us? A prayer for us. Unmute yourself, say a prayer for us before I pick someone. Robert Okumu?
Okay, let us pray.
Thank you.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Heavenly Father, we thank you for today. We come with thanksgiving in our hearts. Thank you for the gift of life. We thank you for all the things that you've done in our lives and in our families. Lord, as we gather today for this lesson, we pray that you shall bless our facilitator and the organizers, and also the participants. You shall grant us the gift of understanding, the gift of wisdom, so that we may be able to understand all that we'll be able to interact today. With these prayers and our other silent intentions, we pray through Christ our Lord. Amen. Catherine, you are muted. Your mic is muted.
Oh, now I've said so much. Anyway, so thank you. So I was making a short introduction of myself, saying that my name is Catherine Wamwangi. I'm a HR practitioner and an executive coach. So that's why I'm extremely excited to facilitate this session this morning. I believe there will be a lot of learning. We can interact, and I facilitate for ACHRP. For the ones who are new to ACHRP, a very warm welcome. I'm sure we've interacted with some of you. We've had a real good year through ACHRP in terms of learning. So even this opportunity, I would like to thank Dan for what he has done for us to be able to learn. I've been able to plug in into other webinars, me not being the facilitator, and really taking deep rich learnings from the other facilitators. And I keep on saying that for us in these webinars, when we come, we already have experience, we already have the skills. We just want to make sure that we can continue learning and continue hearing best practices from other people so that we continue building our careers. And I also do understand and appreciate that some of us are at different levels in our careers. Some of us could just be starting, some of us are in already well into the career, established. Some of us have already land over yonder, ready for retirement, but there's always an opportunity. So even for the younger ones who are coming into the profession, we are here to make sure that we hold your hand, because I keep on saying that even us, the ones who are a bit older in the career and more experienced, our hands were also held by other people who helped us to become successful. So idea is to become successful. And that's why coaching is really a platform and a big what do I want to say? A big enabler for us to be successful in our careers and also at our workplaces. So that's me, and I would also like to hear some expectations about today's webinar. What are we hoping to take away? What are we hoping to learn? What would be a deal breaker for you if you don't learn that? Then you will say, I know your facilitator pana akusema zile nilikuwa nataka kusikia. Please unmute yourself, say good morning. Maybe even when you're saying good morning, you might say the industry that you work in. Yeah. Good morning, Joseph.
Good morning to you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm keen to learn the skills that are required in coaching. because from time to time, we as HR practitioners, we are required to, we meet people with different needs in the organization, and therefore it might be good to understand and update ourselves with the contemporary issues and skills that are necessary to guide and support our organizations in that area. Yeah.
Very true. The skills required for a coach to guide people. And I like what Joseph, you have just said around when should I be coaching? What should I be doing? So very important for us to be able to understand those aspects. We'll also be looking at some of the 3 other areas that are really confused and they can have some relationship, that is counseling, mentoring. How do those 3 and coaching correlate, and when should we be using one over the other? Great. Someone else, another expectation. That's a great one. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Someone else, please unmute yourself. Feel free. Your expectations for today. Expectations for today. Feel free to unmute yourself and tell me what your expectations are for today.
Morning.
Morning.
Yeah, this is Robert.
Yes.
Apart from the coaching skills, I would also want to see how we can integrate coaching, especially in a diverse work setup that we have today. How has coaching also evolved to be able to be undertaken in a multicultural and diverse setup of the workplace that we have today.
Wow, yeah. How does coaching find itself? How does it how do we mainstream coaching at our workplaces, diverse in diverse cultures? Good, yeah, that's a good one. Someone else? Someone else? Someone else? Anybody else?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Diana here.
Yeah.
Coaching generally for me is an area of interest.
It's an area of
interest.
Okay.
Great interest, and then
Yeah.
also I'm stepping more in an actively in a HR role per se as an individual as in my career.
Fantastic.
I'm very new at it.
Yeah.
So I'm keen to learn how the two merge together as a HR practitioner and the experience that I've already had as experienced in terms of what I know as coaching and how it aligns to being in the HR space. So that for me, I just want to see how the two come merging together, and what you mentioned about the differences that come in terms of training, in terms of counseling and mentoring. I'm keen to see the difference between it seems like a thin line sometimes, and that's what I would like to learn as well of that.
Exactly. Yeah. Very true. Yeah. So how do we, as HR practitioners, be deliberate in our? Joseph, you might want to mute your mic. How do we become very deliberate in our coaching as HRs, and how do we also encourage line managers to become coaches? At the same time, how do we make sure that we really do understand these three areas? Okay. Thank you, Diana. Someone else? Someone else? Feel free to unmute yourself. Someone else? Okay. If if you're joining this class and you're doing ACHRP, you'll be 10 steps ahead when you come to do if you'll be doing that unit, coaching and counseling. So be very present, be very deliberate, because it's almost like rehearsal before you go to ACHRP. I also lecture there, lecture coaching, as you can imagine. I also lecture strategy. So it's really nice that it's no brainer. It's something, and I coach actively So I coach at different levels. I coach a very disadvantaged, not disadvantaged, that's not the right word. I coach executives who say, oh, Catherine, please, I'm looking for this. This is what I really want to achieve. And sometimes you go in and you discover it's not coaching. You need another intervention. We have to sever that relationship and they go somewhere else, point them to the right direction. But I also coach the blind children. I work in I represent a small NGO called Enable. You can look it up. We've done great work for the last 10 years. And I'm saying that because of the relationship that I have between coaching and those children. So high school, primary and high school students, where we give them the opportunity to use the computer technology, just like you being a sighted person, and they're able to use the laptops, their devices, their smart devices, let's put it like that, for learning and for their own personal use. So a journey that is really fulfilling. Then I thought, well, the ones who are graduating from primary to secondary, what's their vision? What would they like? And very deliberate using coaching to be able to step them up. And then from high school to college or to university, or maybe to their place of work and something like that. So I'm very interested in that area as well. So it looks very unique, brings me a lot of satisfaction about giving back to society and just looking at children and saying, well, I can think better. I can do better. I can look for solutions. I see a lot of potential in myself for what you've done for me around just being independent and stuff like that. So great. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Joseph, hi Joseph. Yeah, Joseph, hi. You need to mute. You need to mute from your side. Thank you. Okay, great. So let me share my screen so that we have a nice, where's my presentation? Let me put my presentation on my screen. So who has coaching at their place of work? Anyone? Mainstream coaching at your place of work? Can mute yourself, can tell us how it is. Is it in pockets of here and there? How is it done at your workplace? How is it done at your workplace? What, or is it pockets of here and there? You can see my screen now?
Yes, you can see.
Fantastic, good. Robert, do you have coaching at your workplace?
Well, I wouldn't say it's profound or it's common.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to define it, but I wouldn't say that it's really formalized. But there's an aspect of coaching.
Yeah.
Especially for the new staff who come in, where they're deployed, there's someone to guide them through.
Okay, to guide them through. Okay, great. Yeah.
That is after induction.
Yeah.
Someone is assigned to a certain department, but there's a focal person who works with the person.
Okay. Coaches them through, shows them what to do. So we'll see whether that what they are doing, you'd be able to assess at the end of this webinar whether that that guided way of induction is really coaching and whether it's working. You'd also be able to reflect back and say, what do I need to do better at my workplace? So that's really nice. Yeah. Someone else? Whether it's pockets of coaching, whether we have coaching is within learning and development, whether it's a fad we started, it didn't work, poleni, or even do we have any coach here today? Anybody who's a coach? So that they also say, hey, what you've been saying, Catherine, is not the truth. That's not coaching, It's also nice. Anybody? Anyone? Feel free to unmute yourself. Or have you ever been, do you have a coach? Do you have a coach, you know? Anyone who has a coach? And why would you want to go to a coach? Imagine going to a coach paying 50,000 per hour, by the way. 50K per hour for 6 sessions. Top coaches in this country charge that for 1 hour, you know. 1 over your time, 50,000. Lots of money, isn't it? So there's a lot of opportunity, what I'm saying as well, around it being a business for you. And great coaches in this country really are well sought after. So it's also something that maybe you'd want to consider it being a coach, but we'll see the qualities of a coach, what needs to be done for you to succeed in your coaching, and maybe perhaps you might want to enroll in a coaching class. So those are what we want to learn today: principles, characteristics, importance, you know, coaching models, types of coaching styles, you know, and that I can't remember who it was, you know, in a diverse culture, how do we bring in coaching? How do we appreciate coaching, you know, in our places of work, you know, approaches to coaching, and then we wrap it up. I would appreciate if it's more interactive, people unmute themselves. And if you don't, you know me, the people who have interacted with me, I'll just go down the participant list and call you out. So feel free to even when I call you out, please, I always request that you do that. Yeah. Okay. So background, even before we come to the definitions of coaching, coaching is a very small, it's a very young industry, and it's getting itself it's getting itself the recognition that it deserves. It's a very, in the 1990s is when we started thinking, well, we need to do coaching. How is this coaching done? I mean, and when I ask people, so what is coaching? They say, oh, it's a football coach, you know, a football coach always is the first thing that people identify coaching with. And it's true, because coaching, that's a coach, a sports coach, especially a sports coach, is really what many people will identify coaching with. And it's no doubt that when coaching began, just a short history of coaching began in the 1990s, and this tennis coach started looking at his coaches, the people who play tennis, and just thought, well, you could do more than just hit the ball. You know, your opponent hitting the ball, for the ones who play tennis or enjoy watching tennis, you know, hitting the ball from one side to the other. But what if you really brought yourself to this game instead of just waiting for your opponent to hit the ball? What would happen? And he started telling people it's mind over matter. And all of a sudden, his participants had a different approach to how they approach their game in terms of how they looked at their opponent. You know, how are you feeling about yourself? Are you in the right frame? Are you aspiring not just to win, but what does winning mean for you? Paint me the picture of success. And all of a sudden, coaching began. All of a sudden, CEOs thought, well, coaching is a good thing. Let's mainstream it at our places of work. And if you look at Fortune 500 companies, and that's one of the things I'll always keep referring to, read widely, be curious. Today, after this webinar, look at Fortune 500 companies and just see how coaching has helped them in their journey of success, of how people are empowered, getting better. And you'd want to think, well, so these Fortune 500 companies, which I long to work for, why are they so different from the company that I work for? And even if you, as a small business, if you have a small business, SME, how are you growing? If you were to start growing right now and think 2021, I need to take a different strategy, would coaching be one of them to accelerate your results in the area of performance, of succession planning, of retention, you know, motivating your team. So there's a lot that coaching can really help you achieve. So does everybody need coaching? To a certain extent, yes. Can everybody become a coach? To a certain extent, yes. Because it's like any other career. So if you choose to be a coach, then you have to look at yourself and examine yourself whether you are doing that. And when I went to register for my coaching diploma, the intake is rigorous. I didn't think, well, I just thought, well, after all, it's so expensive, who would not want to get this money and enroll me? But it's rigorous in terms of asking questions about yourself, you know, because you will be working with clients and you will be able, one of the things is that you have to partner with them and you become very strong partners for them to be able to achieve what they want to do. So yeah, you will be put there out 8 hours talking about yourself. You think, well, what can I do in 8 hours about introducing myself? It's the same thing. I took less than 3 minutes to introduce myself. My name is Catherine, but those are some of just the secondary things of who you are. When we look at the Johari window, there's more than what it is. So I don't want to talk too much. Please sometimes unmute yourself and just say hello, or clarify an issue, or just put in a pointer there, here and there. So why do we need coaching? Why is it effective coaching is key to organizational success in the 21st century? We're already in the 4th industrial revolution. Someone tell me about the 4th industrial revolution, what it means for you as an individual, what it means for you at your place of work. That is all the buzzword that HRs are saying now. We're in the 4th industrial revolution. We need to do things differently. Someone, let's discuss a little bit about the 4th industrial revolution, how you have plugged in, what it has done for you. Anyone, please? 4IR, as we are so fond of saying it. 4IR. Anyone? What is the 4th industrial revolution? The first one, the second, the third. Now we are in the 4th. It's the use of
artificial intelligence.
Tell me more about artificial. Yes, yeah. It's towards use of artificial intelligence, machine learning. Artificial intelligence. What about it? How are we using it to make sure that it can support businesses in a big way? Tell me a little bit more about that. Tell me more about that.
I would just add that where the world is moving to and where the business world is moving to, we are embracing more of, if I may call it, smart machines, and using more analytics, the artificial intelligence coming in the business processes.
Exactly. So more use of robotics, more use of data, where we program the machines to be able to give us the kind of results that we want. So that's how the world is going to be. And we must be able to plug into that as HR practitioners to see how we are going to reskill and upskill our people. So will coaching be one of the things that we really must do for us to get there? That's the big question we keep asking people. What will HR, do you think HR even will exist in another century? Do you think we'll have a career? Well, you can say we'll be dead. So the ones who will be left, watajipanga, watajipanga wakijua kama kutakuwa na HR. But in your opinion, do you think that HR will be there, will be relevant to organizations based on 4th industrial revolution, what it has come to do? Of course, we will see faster speeds, 5G is already here, you know, We see robots doing how some or most of the things, Internet of Things. If you have Amazon Alexa, you ask Alexa, Alexa, how is the weather going to be today? Alexa, where is the easiest eating place for me today? You know, and stuff like that. And Alexa gives you all the information that you need, you know. Then after that, your fridge will be integrated. Mothers will know that I have only 2 more packets of milk. You'll be told on your smartphone you need to shop for milk. Vegetables in your fridge are not enough for this week's family use. Such kind of things, you know. And then you will tell your nearest store. I mean, I don't even know how it's gonna be. Your nearest store to tell we'll have your details, and you log in, and they'll say, well, yeah, you need to replenish your milk with 5 more packets, and then your rider will go and pick and bring it here. You know, Uber will have carless drivers. Can you imagine this world is coming? It's already there, but it's coming. So what's the role of HR in this, in making sure people can embrace this? And you will see how coaching will be able to embrace this. Anyone? Wangoi, Teresa, Sarah, Susan, will HR be here? How relevant are we going to be? Please unmute yourself. It's almost, we need to support the business. And when we start having those kind of discussions in the boardroom, I would like us to be ready for those kind of discussions. Maybe they're already happening at your workplace. Reskilling, upskilling. Anyone?
Okay, my take would be,
yeah.
Well, the human race is not getting extinct.
Yeah.
Hopefully. However, HR would need to evolve or adapt to the changes. Yeah. So that even within the process of HR, you still need to move with the times, and to be able to be relevant with the changing world. And as much as there is more of a move towards a lot of technology and the robotics, the human factor would still be there. The human factor would still be there. It's only that maybe in certain tasks would need less of the human factor, but in other tasks you would find that it's still a ripple effect. One side would reduce the human aspect of work, and another side would require more of the human aspect. For example, the tech companies. Yeah? The tech companies would still be heavy on the human innovators, yeah, coming up with the new solutions and all that. Yeah, so that would be my take.
Very true. There will be a balance. We think that jobs are going to be extinct, but jobs will just be upskilled. You know, the human factor, because we are the same people who are really programming these things. And you know, the only thing is that these machines do not stop. A human being at 9 o'clock, really, if you've had a very long day, you will want to take a break in the evening, or even after working for 4 hours, you will want to take a break at lunchtime. Even after working after 1 hour in the office, if you are seated all the time, you're encouraged to stand up and whatever, and walk around and have the 2020. You know the 2020 vision, that you look away for 20 seconds or whatever to readjust your eyes. But what we are saying is that it's true. The human beings will not be, we will still be here. And the machines will continue running. And one of the things that we also need to be very careful about is that because they will run and they will not stop, they should not outrun us. Even if we are the ones programming them, but if we are not careful, it could also be disastrous. So we'll be having more skills needed around programming, software development, and the manual jobs might be more extinct around the number of people that will need to be plugged in there, but they'll still need people to supervise those robots and stuff like that. So there's a lot. I mean, this week I watched in how Intel, we know Intel, the one that does the microchips for the computers in the US. Have you seen what they have come up, the drones that they have put together to bring up a Christmas, the Christmas theme? It's all over. It's all over in social media. I was just like, you know, I don't watch. When I think it's a 3-minute video that I have been sent, I want memes of 2 seconds, 20 seconds, and things like that. But I was just like, look at this kind of technology, putting drones together to make Christmas trees, to make Santa, to make everything that we all thought about Christmas. With Christmas music, you must watch it. Because when you think about it, people coming together to do things like that, you for sure know that the fourth industrial revolution is here. And of course, they were very proud that they could be able to do that. So how have you even leveraged technology during this pandemic? Maybe when you set everybody maybe to work from home, what did you do? It meant that you needed to give them data to work from home. It needed to do a little bit more in terms of connectivity at home. But how are you also protecting your data when people are working from home? That has been also a big thing around business, and being able to say, well, how are we going to make sure that even when people work offsite, we are still assured that our data is protected? Great. Can coaching help you that as well? It can, and there are many areas that we can see that. So historically, that is where it started. I would like us to think about the 3 areas: counseling, coaching, and mentoring. Anybody with a definition of mentoring? Anyone? Think about the definition of mentoring very quickly. Who is a mentor? Do you have a mentor? I do have a mentor. I have a mentor. Recently, I took up a mentor, a very interesting mentor. Anyone who has a mentor, who has a mentorship program at their place of work? Definition of mentoring? You can see I have my favorite cup of tea. So I'm sure maybe you also have your favorite cup of beverage, what you like. Mentor? Diana?
I really don't have my best way to explain it would be,
Yeah.
a mentor is someone who is in the same line of what you're doing and is grooming you for that role that you want to, the next role that you want to work into. So they're already in it, and they're grooming you towards going to that role that you want to take up. So
Okay,
it could
yeah.
be in any form. It could be a mentor at work, it could be a mentor in your career path, that type of thing. Or
Okay.
just mostly what you want to grow into. And this person has been there before, so they're guiding you and walking with you through that process.
Exactly. Yeah, you've put it correctly. A mentor is someone who has expertise in a certain area that you're interested in learning. You approach them, and then you become they become your mentor, and then they show you, they tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly of that path. Anybody else? Anyone who has a mentor? Anyone who has a mentor? Or even an ad hoc mentor? We all have ad hoc mentors.
Hello.
Hi.
It's Susan.
Yeah.
I do have a mentor. Since I entered the HR field probably like last year.
Wow.
So
welcome.
I thought it's important for me to have somebody who has a wide knowledge on HR, who can take my hand and hold me, coach me,
yeah,
and help me out to gain more knowledge whenever I have a hiccup.
Fantastic. And how has been the journey?
It has been great since she created a WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
We are like 8 ladies.
Yeah. Wow.
who are we come up with, like go through the Employment Act, chapter after chapter, and then expound on it. Everybody gives his view on how somebody has understood, and then she guides us on the right path, on what she knows. And we also give examples of actually what we have encountered at work. Yeah, so she's my mentor.
Fantastic. In my next life, I want to be her, or I want to be you, you know.
Yeah,
well done.
I probably would love to learn more and also coach, train, and mentor others.
Yes, of course. Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah, great. So anybody else? So recently when this year, I've always loved gardening a lot. I've always loved gardening and flowers, plants. I have a great interest. I have great books, you know, I learn and go to different places. Everybody has a good hobby. Then I decided, well, I'm working from home, and one of the things that I needed just to really get a balance was when to stop, like all of us, when to stop, when to go. So I just decided, you know what? The one thing that I will have and purpose to have time during this working from home season, though we also used to work from home, you could choose to work from home 2 times a week and stuff like that. I took up a mentor in gardening. And lo and behold, I invite you to come and see my gardening expertise, how much I have grown, you know. So for someone who's very good at gardening, I've always admired them. They came through for me in a big way. I was very happy to be able just to plug in and to be able to take my gardening to the next level. And there's a lot, you know, and there are all these groups that all of a sudden you get yourself acquainted with. You get to sites where people are doing great work, still in this country and abroad, and connections. So just the same. So I believe that it's important for you to get someone who has more expertise, more knowledge in the area of interest that you have. So whether you are growing into it or whether you just want to get better at it, it's always very important. And especially at your younger career stage, a mentor does a whole lot of difference for you. A whole lot of difference. Someone who is really there. And a mentor also must really have time for you. Great. Counseling? Anyone? Counseling very quickly? You've got a lot to cover. Counseling? I see a question coming in. I will read them out. Will I earn CPD after, since I'm young in my career? Yes, you will answer. You'll get a CPD. You can reach out to Dan. You can earn a CPD. Yeah. He will let you know how to earn a CPD. Someone else? Someone else? Counseling?
Counseling is an intervention that addresses a certain need.
Addresses a certain need, for example. Counseling addresses certain needs.
It is an intervention that seeks to address a certain need.
Address a certain need. Someone else? Yeah, that's true. It addresses a certain need, no doubt. Counseling addresses a certain need. Someone else? Just to get the completeness of understanding of counseling?
I'll say counseling is a helping process to help someone cope with a certain issue.
A helping process, really guided process. And we need also an expert like a counselor, a psychiatrist, a psychologist to be able to do what? To help you in that journey. You know, in Africa, and anyway, the world over, when people hear you are going for counseling, how do they label you? There could be some, yeah.
They say you're mad.
They say you're mad, isn't it? Yeah. So they say you're not well put together. There's something wrong. And it's unfortunate because then we need counseling from time to time. Really, we need counseling. Counseling is also a healthy way to make sure that we are plugged in, very, very well plugged in. Our whole being. Life will have challenges. Sometimes you can be able to resolve those challenges, but sometimes we just need we need help. And as HR practitioners, I keep on saying you need to see a counselor from time to time to just find out whether this head is still, is it screwed right in what I hear at my workplace? And you can attest with me, some things can be extremely heavy and they can weigh you down because people will come and confide with you as HR. And last week, but one, I don't know whether you were in one of the webinars that I facilitated, and we had I chose I'm a chair of a certain big NGO, the chair of the HRs in the NGO world. So we just decided this year, one of the meetings we are going to dedicate to ourselves, and the theme was who's there for the strong. And we got this expert speaker to come and speak to us. And the good news, which was also very bad news, is that there's no one there for HR. If you are strong in your field, there'll be no one for you. You'll just be there for yourself. But she gave us great tips on how to make sure that you keep yourself grounded. Very, very great tips. Who's there for the CEOs? There's no one there for the CEOs. In fact, if you say the board is there to bash the CEO. I mean, not to bash them like that, but to push them and to stretch them. So who's there for the strong? There's no one there for the strong. So everybody is a strong person in this world. That's also something else that we took out. So you have to be there for yourself. You have to look for things. So even as HR during this pandemic, because some of us lost jobs, some of us delivered the bad news of retrenching people, pay cuts, sending people on unpaid leave. It was chaotic in the beginning before we found a formula and a way of how to do it. No, whoever reached out to HR and say, hey, Robert, how are you doing? How are you feeling? Joseph, how are you feeling? How are you doing today? Maybe they did it, but did you really felt accommodated and say, wow, who's helping me? So it's important for us if our medical schemes and our wellness programs allow you to seek interventions around my whole being. This is what I have had this week. This is how it's been for me for this year. I just need to go and speak to someone. It's not a problem, but it's something that I need to offload with a third party who has no idea of who I am in the animal kingdom, sees me and is able to give me is able to ask me questions around how I'm feeling and how I can relate to that, whether I still feel that I'm able to go on. So it's important because you hear things that you really don't want to hear. Maybe even it's your best friend in the office, and they're the ones, their jobs are in the line, and you have to deliver the bad news. And then your friend would think, ungenitetea, I thought we were friends. What is this all about? So those are the kind of things that you have to deal with. So when you have an opportunity, and I keep on saying also, it's nice to go for counseling. When you're getting married, are you not advised to go for marital counseling? Sometimes if you have a big thing that is coming your way, are you not told to go for counseling and relate with all these good happenings for you? If you want sports pesa, Jack Pesa of 300 million, what would you do? You just be happy? Of course, I would be elated. I would not go back to the office as Catherine. I'd say, au revoir, it was nice knowing you while it lasted. But I think such things really need some bit of grounding. Niko na 300 million kwa bank wananipigia simu, manager mimi hajai kunipigia simu, ananipigia simu. It's life changing. So things which are life-changing also need to go for counseling. So the stigma around counseling, it's because it's related with events which are and sometimes are not accepted by the society, like well, substance abuse. Why did you start using substance abuse? Don't you know it's wrong? You'll go to jail and stuff like that. That's the kind of thing, you know. Depression, we know that many people are depressed. So those are things that we need to get into. People in poor relationship, bad relationships, they need help. So, but sometimes because those things are so private to us, we want to hide and whatever. And it's important just to own your space and not let people push you out. Okay. So the last one, coaching. What do we think about coaching? Coaching. Who's coaching? Now I'm even, you know, I'm about to start dancing when I think about who is coaching. What is coaching? Is it sports coaching? Coaching? In your wildest coaching, what do you think? Wangoi, Washira?
A coach is someone who brings out the best in somebody.
A coach is someone who brings out the best in someone. Very true. One of the things that a coach does. Beatrice, coaching? Coaching? Your understanding, your idea around coaching. It doesn't have to be right. Triza?
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
This is Beatrice.
Yes, hi,
I
Beatrice.
think my understanding, hi, good morning. My
Morning.
understanding of coaching is like training or assisting an individual to achieve the best out of what they are undertaking. Or the best to give the best skills to achieve or to meet a certain objective in what they are undertaking. Yeah, like when you are coaching people in sports like football, you give them the skills on how to, you know, overcome challenges while they are playing and how to probably outwit their competitors, something like that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, true. Outwit their competitors, give them the skills. Okay, we will demystify that as well. Someone else?
Teresia here. Good morning, everyone.
Morning. How you doing? Welcome.
I'm good, thanks. Coaching is an exercise that an experienced person basically uses to coach a person on a personal or professional level to achieve a certain goal or an area where they're struggling with.
Achieve a certain goal in where they could be struggling with. So does do you think that the coach needs to have the skill?
Yes.
All of the skill of what they are coaching on? No.
It doesn't have to be an expert in that field, because the coach just helps you to bring out the best in you, the best of your potential.
Yeah. So doesn't have to have the skill. It's amazing when you think, and I want you to think about a difficult boss that you worked for, or even are you a difficult boss? It can go either way, you know. I want you to think about a boss who stretches you and gives you no answers. Sometimes we label them as difficult people, isn't it? We could label them as difficult people, bullies. Leave a boss who's really not a good person. We can demystify bad from someone who stretches you, and then sometimes you can look back and say, enyewe, kama angekuwa huyo boss, mimi singekuwa hapa. Me, there is a boss I can talk about her. If it was not for that boss, I would not be where, whatever, and I'll give you a short story as we go along. She never used to give us any. She used to give you a blank paper and tell you, go and fill it. It's you. Go and look for your own solutions. And you just think, but you have everything. Please give them to me. And she says, no. You come, paint your own picture, paint how you're going to do it. You have the resources. After all, the company has given you. You go, and we just used to think, napenda kutupatia kazi yako tufanye. But now looking back, and we are best of friends, you look back and just say, hey, anyway, you had wisdom 10 years ago and 50 years ago, and I really never thought about it like that. Anyway, so let's quickly look into it. Coaching is leading and inspiring people to unlock their potential through powerful questioning. Mentoring, just very quickly, just a rundown of what and approaches, to these three things that we're talking about. And mentoring entails inspiring and building others' capability through experience sharing, like what we have an experienced person. And we also have reverse mentoring at our workplaces. We know what reverse mentoring is. I believe that we do. If you don't know, let me know. Consulting is about providing specific expertise advice or fixing technical problems using prescribed terms of reference for clients. Some of us take up consultancy work from time to time. There's a specific tour that you need to do. And in HR, one of the things that I also encourage you to do is take up some consultancies here and there. If you can, even if it's just for pro bono, work with consultants and say, how do you go to a client site and be able to do a job evaluation? Hold my hand to be able to do that. So you can start a little hustle on the side, if you like, and if you can do it, or even a consultant who is doing a big recruitment drive, they can give you CVs to shortlist in the evening, at work, after work, maybe for 2 hours, be able to learn your money. That's how you get into the consultants world. Anyway, I like sharing things that are important to us as we build our careers. Counseling, this intervention focuses on diagnosing disorders, their causes, and bringing healing through provision of safe and supportive environment for sharing and healing. This is purely therapeutic, and the past is very important. People's problems are very different, isn't it? When you think about some problems that that people say they have, you can really just for lack of a better word, unazipuuza tu. So when someone comes and tells you, my parents didn't like me, they did not buy me a bicycle when I was growing up, I am 50 years and I don't know how to ride a bicycle, I struggle with that. Robert, what would you say about such a problem? How would you think that is a big problem?
I think it's a problem because you find that that person cannot move on. There's a lot that is locked in the background. So it affects the person's thinking and the person's perception of the world and everything. So it becomes a hindrance.
Exactly, isn't it? You cannot just say, bicycle too. You can go to Karura and ride a bicycle and buy a bicycle. After all, you have so much money. But there is something that is holding them back. And when you think it's such a small problem, riding a bicycle, and you're thinking, the children in the estate can ride a bicycle, so even go and get the children in the estate to help you ride a bicycle. So we cannot belittle or disregard or invalidate, in fact, that's the word that I was trying to look for, anybody's big or small problem, because we are seeing it from our lenses. And that is what many of us, we judge people using our own standards, and it becomes very, very difficult for us to be able to go on. And training is about impacting knowledge and skills and change of attitude and behavior. Why do we take people for training? Bottom line is, today we must learn that we take people for training, whatever skills that we want them to acquire, is if they have good behavior and attitude, you are able to learn very easily. The trainer has their practical expertise in what they train on. So the learning the learning method, coaching, counseling, this gives you a real good highlight in terms of how, you know, coaching how, mentoring what, counseling why. You know, it focuses on the present, mentoring the future, and counseling the past. The aim is to improve skills, development, commitment, in mentoring, developing commitment, learning goals, and to developing and committing to learning goals, and overcoming in counseling is to overcome psychological barriers, you know. And we also want to see that in counseling, it raises the competencies, and in counseling it builds understanding. So just a very good highlight of all those three interventions, when we use them, when we can use them. So I said that coaching is a very new industry, and it's continued to gain a lot of importance. And just like the way we have IHRM regulating the HR profession in this country, we also have like the Law Society of Kenya. We also have the Dentist and Poisons Board regulating the doctors in this country. Also, coaching is regulated by International Coach Federation. That's the big body that regulates coaching and continues to drive coaching in a way that it's accepted, it's got good ethics, just like any other body that does that. And it's the definition of coaching that really defines coaching even at the workplace. And it defines coaching as partnering together, being a partnership, you know, and we will look at that partnership with clients in a thought-provoking and creative process that inspires people to maximize their personal and professional potential. Coaching has to do more with inspiring a thought-provoking engagement and holding one accountable. You know, do it. I'm going to hold you accountable. Why? Because we are partners here. And the goals that you have set out to achieve. You have goals. You had goals at the beginning of 2020. Have you achieved those goals? You have, you will review, maybe you review your goals quarterly or every day, or however you review your goals. It's important to review those goals. Whether we have been able to achieve those goals at a personal level at the end of the year, it's something else. Even at the workplace, we review performance from time to time, but we want to see how coaching can really be a lifestyle at the workplace. Very, very important. Any question? Any question until there? Any question? Hafsat? Any question? So this is the definition. It says that we are partners with clients or coaches in a thought-provoking and creative process that inspires them to maximize their potential. So coaching is not just another form of management or supervision where you come and say, okay, fine, it's coaching. This is what we are going to do. As we will see, the key to successful coaching lies in the individual's willingness and ability to identify their own abilities or shortcomings and take the necessary actions that are needed. The coach cannot just tell the person what to do, nor can the individual become too reliant on the coach's view or suggestions. The coach will never tell you what to do. The individual must be an active participant in the process at times and accept ultimate responsibility. It's fantastic. You know, the other day we are doing revision. Who's doing any exam? Who's who's doing exams this coming week? Anyone? Anyone doing exams? Okay, if you're not doing exams, that's fine. Anyone who graduated yesterday? CHRP? Okay, shout out to the graduates, whoever. I'm sure maybe you have a friend who graduated. Congratulations to them. So we've been doing intensive revision for the exams because exams were cancelled and now there's backlog and students have forgotten, and adults learn when they want to learn. We know that. So even when I'm doing revision and the students say, si mwalimu tupatie answer, kwani unafikiri we ni coach? Sasa, it's been such good lesson around when you love what you do. That's what I'm trying to say. is that even in class, they say, no, Mwalimu, give us the answers. I say, no, you think about the answers. I will not be with you in the exam room, you know, just as stretching them. They say, no, Mwalimu, sasa in injury time, you just give us the answers. But we still stretch and say, well, what do you think about it? How would you answer this question? Then as a lecturer, of course, I have to recap. So it's nice just to see what I'm trying to say. Even in that situation, you still want to stretch people and to get the best out of them. So who is a coachee? Who is a coachee? A coachee is also called a client. When you think about it, who is a coachee? Are you a coachee? Who is a coachee? Teresa, try. Amos, try. Anybody can try. Sarah, try. Anybody? Anybody can try? Who's a coachee? Okay.
The person being coached.
Aha, the person being coached. Yeah, that's true. It's as simple as that. The person who's being coached. So who's a coachee? A coachee, okay, read for us. Was it Amos who unmuted themselves? Just read for us the definition of coaching. So I sometimes get people to participate more.
Okay, I'll read this. It's Robert.
Yeah, Robert. Yeah, thank you.
A coachee is someone who is whole, motivated, knowledgeable, hopeful, and has potential.
Thank you. So who is a whole person? Even looking at the definition of coaching, who is a whole person? Someone who has 10 fingers, 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 legs, 10 toes. Who is a whole person? When you think of, am I whole? Am I really whole in this situation? Who's, just by your definition of who is a whole person? Anyone whole? Just who is a motivated person? Who motivates you? Then let's go one by one, whichever you wish to pick. Who is a knowledgeable person? Who is a hopeful person? What does it mean that you have potential?
Hello, let me take up the whole person. I think a whole person to me is a person of sound mind, a person who knows what they want, and probably they have identified how to get what they want.
A whole person, yeah, true. Yeah, someone of sound mind, someone who's able to make decisions, someone who's able to say that I am not perfect. I have areas that I need to work on. And in coaching, we say you have the bright side and you have the dark side. So it's important for us to be able to identify ourselves and to know our strengths and our weaknesses. Emotional intelligence, self-awareness comes into play. You know that I need to, my physical being is there's a place that I need to work on. You know, either I am not eating right, I have weight that I need to shed. You know, your physical being, your emotional being. If in this situation, ikienda hivi, I'll know that I will burst. And how will I leave that situation? I will leave it worse than it was. You know, I need to work on my emotional being. You know, I need to work on my spiritual aspect, whatever spirituality is for you, because it's different for everybody. How is that? How am I turning up my spiritual life? Because it's an important aspect to every human being in this world. How is my social being around my finances, my relationships, everything that really encompasses you as a person? That's why it's always important to have a real quick and brief reflection of you as a person every day. And because we are so rushed in life, We never, ever, ever stop to think that. And that's why we have so much conflict at the workplace, because we never stop to think of situations. So that is also something very whatever. So that's the whole person, ability to be self-aware of who you are, reflect back from time to time. Am I whole in this area? I feel no, there's something that is lacking. How do I bring it back? And how do I continuously make myself better? Who's a motivated person? Who should be motivating me? My employer or myself? My employer or myself? Who should be motivating me?
Hi, Catherine.
Hi. Yeah.
I think you should be self-motivated. You motivate yourself first, so that you have a positive mind. That way,
yeah,
you will appreciate whatever the employer does.
Exactly. Very true. You've put it very squarely. Self-motivated, that's why we keep on saying those JDs. I love them when I see people advertising, oh, self-motivated. And it's true, you should be self-motivated. You have the ability, you look at things positively, you are able to even to surmount the worst of situations. So self-motivated, you take extra initiative, you have a good vibe around, you know, and you know, you're not the one who comes and doubts the party and stuff like that. But even in all that, so that the organizations that we work in must also provide a conducive environment, isn't it? That's very important. A conducive environment for people to be self-motivated, so that that continues. Unfortunately, we sometimes take up jobs and you think this is my dream job, and then when you go there, you are motivated the first 1 month, 3 months, and then hey, culture kweli, this is not what I signed up for. So you start becoming demotivated. So also culture, how our cultures play out at the workplace have a strong, significant and correlation to how someone will stay self-motivated. So is your culture right for self-motivated employees? Knowledgeable, who's someone who's knowledgeable, hopeful? Very quickly, very fast. Someone who's knowledgeable, hopeful, and has potential. Someone? A coach will never tell you what to do. You come to a coach, you have a word, and then we'll just be asking you, you know, questions around. And even if the coach knew this is the solution, they will never give it to you until you yourself come up with those solutions. So someone who's knowledgeable, can research, has an idea of what they want to achieve, has historical knowledge, tacit or present or whatever it is, you know, I'm knowledgeable in this skill, in this field. That's what I want to, this is me, you know, hopeful. I am not just someone who doesn't look at life as if it has come falling over me. I am hopeful. I have a positive mind. I'd be able to whatever. And I know that I have potential, something very important. So when you think about coaching and what it can do, even at the workplace coaching, we are trying to get commitment from people to be able to do more compared to what they can be able to do, because everybody. So the key pillars underlying coaching, the coaching philosophy, everyone has potential and something to offer to the world. Everybody, no matter how, from the mightiest to the whatever. Yesterday when I was looking at my slides, I was looking at Biden and I thought, hey, Biden, well done. At 70 something, he's 70 what? He's old, he's not young, but he's the president of the most powerful country in the world, whether US remains powerful, China, or whoever it is. I mean, it's one of the most powerful countries in the world. And I'm just thinking, you are going to lead a citizenry of about 200 million people. Really well done, Biden. You put up whatever. And he outlined his his manifesto. He took questions from the reporters or from the journalists, and they were asking him things about whether he's going to appoint Black people to his cabinet and stuff like that. And I was just like, well, the Black Lives Movement really matters still. And of course, right now we have changed it into All Lives Matters. I hope that is something that you are discussing at your workplace, because everybody has something to offer. And he says, let's work together. Everybody has something to offer, from the mightiest to the lowest of in the society. You know, most people never live their full potential. Think about your phone. I'm sure you have either you're even listening from your smartphone. This phone of ours, for me, I just keep thinking, okay, fine, I can call. Most important for me, I can call. Yes, I can call. I can read a message. In fact, my sister was telling me who sends messages nowadays. Nobody. Kumbe mi niliwacho nyuma. I still send messages and I look at messages and I think, well, if I'm not calling you, then you will read my message. Then she said, no, WhatsApp is the main thing to do right now. And I'm just like, okay, fine, guys, it is okay. Can you hear noise in my background? Can you hear? Okay. So my children are playing left, right, and center. Then this phone, you hardly ever use to its full potential. Maybe you use your banking, you use WhatsApp. If you're in the Telegram group of ACHRP, and some people really use whatever. But for me, I keep thinking the same way that I don't use my phone to its maximum capacity that has been enabled for me, and why I bought it for, to make sure that I can use it. It's the same way that we never live our full potential. So I challenge you today, what can you do better as an individual? Most of the time, people have solutions to their own barriers and obstacles. And we see that when you have a problem, that's the time that you will know your strengths, where they really lie. Powerful questions. So problems are not bad things. Powerful questions have the greatest capacity to yield transformational answers and solutions. Own solutions generate ownership. Isn't that true? Energy, enthusiasm, and committed responsibility. And then we also know that true and committed actions and decisions come from within. And everyone is always work in progress. We are work in progress. You remember the who Akochi, someone is whole, and we talked about someone who is whole and can always do more when positively challenged. Is that what you have at your workplace? Is that what you have at your workplace? Anyone? Pillars underlying coaching, philosophy. Do you see this being practiced at your workplace? Is it something that you would like to see more? Please unmute yourself. Mm-hmm. Very true, Milka. I like what you're saying. Yeah. Hi, Catherine. I have health on self-motivation until realize that it's only for a period of time. I've talked about, yes, I agree. The organizations over 10 years and whatever, it just fades away if you are not putting up programs and whatever. Totally agree. Totally agree. And we say that our cultures and our environments must really make sure that is happening. Anybody quickly around the philosophies underlying coaching? Someone please help me here. Even just unmute and say something about a toxic culture, how it can hinder this kind of initiatives. Anyone? Sarah, Amos, Joseph, please unmute yourself. Just say something about this.
This is Robert.
Yeah.
I just want to mention something about this silo mentality in the organization. So this is one of the factors that would hinder, because people now tend to work in their own silos.
People tending to work in their own silos. It's true, because they have the mentality of maybe being insecure. I will hoard information. I am not going to do that. Yeah, very true. Then can you please put for us, change our people to be panelists so that they can be able to participate? Thank you. Someone else? Someone else? Susan? Any contribution to that? Any contribution to that? Can unmute yourself. Joseph? Anything?
Not at the moment. I'm all right.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. You know, yeah.
Maybe something else on this,
Yeah.
the coaching philosophy, like bullet 2. I've seen cases whereby someone is in an organization but doesn't leave, does not really achieve much. Then the same person happens to exit.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, maybe in a similar capacity.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you're seeing he's doing wonders in the other organization. Yeah. So the person never achieved his potential in organization A, but goes to organization B and is a star.
Yeah.
So
And
there's that paradox.
Yeah. So what would be the reason behind that?
I think it's the enabling environment within the organization. You mentioned something about culture, and there's also the environment and the opportunity for someone to be able to flourish in an organization. So it enables you either to unlock your potential, or your potential just becomes that potential.
It's true. It's true. Yeah. I think one of the people who really have, when we think about Eliud Kipchoge, I mean, he's lived his potential, isn't it? He's just as far as he went. It's one of the people who really encourages me. When I think about Wangari Maathai, you know, Kenyan homegrown people who have really gone over beyond their call of duty in their own private and career profession. I think those ones really inspire me in terms of just looking at, can I really be able to do that? Yeah. So in whatever way, in whatever fields that we belong, then we need to do much more than what we are capable of doing. And of course, the environment really takes a lot. So those are the 7 mastery. I will not go. It's the same. Just like the philosophy is just the 7 masterful coaching, whatever. Okay. So why is it important for us to coach at the workplace? When you think about workplace coaching and some of the things that we can achieve, importance of coaching at the workplace, very quickly, there can be as many as we are here. Why is it important for us to coach? Anyone? When you think at coaching at the workplace and what it can be able to, why is it important for us to coach at the workplace? To have coaching at the workplace? Anyone? To improve performance. Thank you, Florence. Yeah, no doubt, to improve performance. Someone else?
Hi, Catherine.
Hello.
Hello. Just to go back to what Robert, I think, had said about one person lose an organization, and then they flourish in another. So coaching could be one of the ways to ensure that your associates and employees or individuals in your organization are at their full potential and that they're giving you the very best, so that you don't have the story where they moved somewhere else and they would have done the best in the organization that they have already working.
Yeah, true, very true. That when we have people at the workplace working with us, then We need to explore and give them the opportunity to be their best. If anything you don't take anything from this webinar today, two things you must take out: the definition of coaching and what coaching is, and we must make people successful. When people come to work with us, our aim is to make them successful in what they do. Provide the resources, provide the environment, provide the good remuneration. I mean, remuneration is it's very relative, because it depends on what the organization is able to pay. But let's be fair in what we do, and let's make people successful in what they do. Match them with the correct jobs, make sure that the line managers are doing the right thing. So it's important for us to become strong HR business partners. Someone else, please. Why is coaching important? Improves employees' engagement. Very true. In addition to performance. Yeah, very true. If I'm coached and I'm just, it empowers me. A boss who tells me, Catherine, go and look for a solution. What do you think you would do differently? And shows empathy around that and doesn't judge me. Can you imagine what I'm able to do? I am on my spring every day thinking, oh, I'm on top of the world. This manager, we are working very well together. Yeah. Yeah. To let go out our inner voice, which may be negative. Yes, very true. Around really bringing out better relationships, better communication. When my manager talks to me, we engage, because you remember it's a partnership. How is this partnership going, and what is important for us to be able to achieve that? That becomes very, very important. Yeah. Knowledge management and continuity, no doubt about it, around us being able to have continuity in the organization. So when it's not just one person, akienda ameenda na kila kitu, but because all of us really understand what the business is about, what the business needs to do, then that's very important. I had feedback the other day from a company that me and my a couple of us were doing work around, big company and whatever. They said, great company to work in, but there's never feedback. There is never, we don't know what the strategy is. It's as if it's a secret up there. We know this, I know what I need to do in my work, but how does this help in achieving the strategy? How do my objectives help? Yeah. And there's even no performance. You give me space to work, but nobody gives me feedback in terms of my performance. Very true. Knowledge management, continuity, very true. Enhances talent retention, well done, Scholar. And employee brand, especially if the staff can develop their careers within the organization. Employee value proposition. Don't we all love it as HRs, where we say that from the time I advertise the job to the time I'm bringing in someone, I'm already putting my brand out there and I'm positioning myself for the best talent to apply for this job. Why would you want to apply for a job at XYZ company and not ABC company? So those are some of the things as individuals, and say, even no, I hear, I've heard, I have seen, I'm not going to apply. And why do I? Then you look at another company and they get the recruiter or the officer who's dealing with that recruitment gets 3,000 applications. Some, okay, meet the requirements of the job, and some just throw in. So we know people just throw in, a driver will apply because they also want to be heard and seen. Maybe this is an opportunity. HR alikuwa amesahau iko driver's job. Si pia mimi ni dere anifanya nini ani consider. And sometimes it's never bad to try those things, because you never know, an opportunity might be coming up. Yeah. Creates continuous learning and knowledge transfer. Anybody else? Very true. So coaching, the importance of coaching at the workplace, we can never underestimate it, especially in the fourth industrial revolution. Where we are right now, we need more coaching for people to work more autonomously, for people to have greater collaboration in the organization, for us to have healthy relationships, you know. And the thing is that when we have all these ingredients put together, what does it help us with? Achieving the company's objectives. The other thing is to make sure that we become trailblazers in our industry. We want to be known to be the center of excellence. You know, would your organization be considered a center of excellence? Would it be? Are you working towards that? I think that is important, because the purpose of being there, it's not just to make profit, but people can really relate with the products and come and say, well, how is this done? Can we learn from you? I think that's very important. Okay. So this week we saw increases confidence in employees. Yes. No doubt, I have confidence in my work. I am being told that I can get better. I can do that. This week we have the breaking news of the vaccine coming. I think that's really good news. The COVID-19 vaccine. We are looking at AstraZeneca as a trailblazer right now. The other two companies, I've forgotten their names. I mean, when you think about what they have done, I'm sure, wow, the scientists who have worked beyond their call of duty to bring in the vaccine, I think the other pharmaceuticals must be thinking, you know, they got it right. How did they do that? You know, and they are now the center of excellence around that area, those three companies. So no doubt, you know, continuous learning. I think that's very important. Anyone else? Unmute yourself, say something around that.
I think it also enhances teamwork.
How does it enhance teamwork?
The more you have a successful coaching program, it means people are able to relate and work together. So going forward, you're able to build teams that are working.
Yeah, and very strong cohesive teams around the organization. So all those importance here. So what are some of the coaching opportunities that we can have at the workplace? You know, they could be many. You know, they could be many. And coaching is not for non-performers. You know, most of the time we say, oh, we'll send you to a coach because you're not doing what? You're not performing well. That's a big myth. Coaching is for winners, and coaching is for people whom we want to take to the next level, and they develop and they achieve their potential. So when you appear unmotivated, there could be some instances which are rather obvious. How can you seem to be dropping balls, Catherine, of late? Is there anything that I can help you with? You know, you don't seem to be motivated as you were, you know, and some of the things, it's observing people and seeing how they appear. You know, a person who was always very happy, bubbly, all of a sudden, they don't have that zeal. So appearing motivated, demotivated, excessive errors, missing deadlines, falling below standards, display need for fine-tuning, career development, all those opportunities, you know, we'll be putting people in the talent pool. Let's say you have a strong succession planning program in your organization. How do you do all those things to make sure that you're able to capture them within coaching? Any other opportunities for training for coaching at your workplace you can think of? Any other ones? Yeah. Scholar, I don't know what I can do, but yeah, please continue engaging on the chat group. Only that you have a technical itch. Now it's sorted. Oh, fantastic! Yeah, well done. Okay, I'm happy to hear that. Yeah. Anybody else? what are some of the opportunities we can we have at our workplace for coaching? Some of the opportunities for coaching at the workplace. Even as HR, what are some of the opportunities that you would create, given now that we understand coaching? Coaching, I will come, line managers, you can't give people answers, they look for their own solutions. How would you do that? What are some of the opportunities you have created for people? Some of the opportunities? Other opportunities?
Yeah, so I have this year, there's this International Federation of Coaches.
Wow.
And they offer pro bono services at least 1 year. I mean, once in a year. So I had with that at a time where we needed, for our executive team, we needed coaches. So right now we are working with that for the top leadership.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, being HR, some of the challenges that I get are that managers, line managers, they have areas of gaps in managing their own people. So they will want to come to HR when things are very bad, when someone has exhausted their leave, when there's a disciplinary process that should have been mitigated. So the purposeful me as HR on leadership can be able to hold the manager's hands, being able to map out which managers need what kind of help. And so I'm partnering with the line managers depending on their need. Providing courses for them to learn. The organization has leadership and management courses, but also the practical hand-holding on money for managers. I do that as the HR lead. I am able to hold their hands so that we can manage staff well to help them excel, just like what you have said, rather than wait for them to fail and take corrective action.
Exactly. Yeah. Well done. Well done. First, so ICF every year has a free coaching week pro bono, and when you plug in, you get great coaches. You come and you can decide in your organization which cadre of staff you want coach mainstreamed in, and then after that, so well done. So next year, please take advantage of just taking that opportunity, and great coaches will come your way. But we also understand in that we can all relate with what she has said. Line managers exhaust. I mean, they manage their people. They don't manage their people. Let's start there. They just manage the work. This is what we are supposed to be doing. It's a production line. We are supposed to be making 10 items out of the production line, and that's it. But they're not looking at their people, you know, in a way of providing leadership and management to people. And as HRs, we must tell line managers the only work they have is to manage people, because they themselves put a technical team that is capable of doing the work that they're supposed to be doing. Of course, the line manager must understand what's going to happen, what needs to happen in their department, but their work is to look at the strategy of the department and to motivate people to get to the next level. So all the time, what we should be doing is holding the line manager's hands and telling them, you're doing a great job. Taking them for courses, asking them, how is your team doing? What can they do better? And looking at those gaps. And some managers are more receptive towards feedback and getting to understand and take up those that feedback and build themselves as individuals, and in turn build their teams. And some managers will just they don't have time, they're not interested. So those are the managers that we need to work with more and show them what success looks like. So it's work in progress, and I like what HRs have come to do, look for innovative ways to make sure that they can work with line managers. So it's important for us to know that line managers sometimes don't look at the bigger picture because they are so pressed for time and they want to do the work instead of leading the teams. You know, we must let the line managers know that the three things that they need to understand is leading self, leading others, and leading the business. Once they understand that, then they will they'll delegate a bit more and don't feel too exhausted. And then they're just thinking, this team is not working. HR is not helping me. I don't know what to do and stuff like that. Anybody else? What have you done? What have you done? What have you done? What would you like to do? What hinders you from doing that? What hinders you from doing that? What hinders you from doing that? Great work, HR, or the environment is not right, or your line manager does not support you in doing that? What hinders you? Anyone? You can unmute yourself. Even some of the experiences that you have learned over this pandemic. Would you have done it better given another chance? Please share. Please share if you're able to. Okay. So feel free to time in as we go on. Feel free to time in. So some of the typical issues that we can address in a coaching session, business goals, anything, personal growth, becoming a new manager. Becoming a new manager is one thing that you would always want to make sure that you really look into when people are promoted to be new managers. Most of the time, how do we promote people to become new managers? What is the basic criteria that we use? Very traditional way. Which one is that one? What is the most traditional way of people promoting others to become a manager?
I can respond, Catherine.
Yeah.
If you've been performing well in your role over time, it is assumed that you can automatically be manager material.
Yeah.
So whether or not you have the skills to manage people because of your personal performance, then you become a manager.
Isn't it? That is the traditional way. We've always thought, you've been performing well, you will definitely become a good people manager. Another way, and is that the right thing?
It's never the right thing because it's a different skill set to do your own work, to be an individual contributor, and to manage a team of individual contributors, because then you need to shift from doing the work to actually developing the team and giving them the tools and support they need to deliver on the work. So it's two different approaches.
Exactly, just like what I have said, managers, stop doing the work. Look at the bigger picture, and that's what we fail. Another way, I've been in this position for 10 years, isn't it? It's automatically going to be given to me. No knowledge of how to manage a team, no knowledge, and people can see, well, you have shortfalls, you have done some things you do well, but it's some things around working in a team. Really, you fall very short. You fall short. And just because we want to see the step approach of two people, you've been here 5 years and another one has been here for 10 years. We don't want to upset the status quo. We are going to take Catherine, who is 10 years, and leave Susan. And Susan has displayed her management skill, her management style is the one that we are going to take. Hey, Charles, we must be a bit more brave in giving those kind of input when these decisions are being taken. You would say, no, look at the competencies, look at what it is. Let's not give it on a silver platter. Can we then another way, can we interview Catherine and Susan to see who is best to take up this position? And it might whatever, so to show fairness and stuff like that. And during that interview, even if people are gravitating towards Catherine, who's been there for 10 years, you will put your foot down and say, no, hold on. The criteria, did we look at this and this and this and this and that? Remember, and just making sure that you can use those subtle words. Is she going to be successful? What do we want for this team? Where she's strong in this area? but she needs more coaching in this area and stuff like that. So let's stand out in how we do that. Yeah. How have we been able to balance work, balancing work and home life, especially during this time? What have we done for our teams in coaching them to know that we can still be able to balance for better? Anyone who put up a great program? Communication was the key thing this year. Constant communication, empathy, and trust. Those were the three things that we kept from March. A lot around there. Anyone? What can we do better as HRs? How have we done that? HRs, can we learn from each other? What have we done this year? Balancing teams. How are you evaluating performance this year? Anyone? Or even you've just been managed the same way. You feel bad in how you have been managed. Anyone? 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 How have we balanced our teams? Or even how are you thinking you can balance around coaching to give people a much more balance, that they don't feel the pressure of work? Any ideas? Please unmute yourself.
I think we have also managed to manage work by remotely, having some staff work at home because of the issue of social distancing. Since we want also to embrace the guideline from the ministry, and managing these employees who are working remotely, we have been able to come up with the schedule whereby they rotate, and in those schedules, those who are working at home, before they go, we ensure that they come up with the deliverables with their supervisor, and everybody signs. And as they go home, they make sure that what they have signed they are going to do, they have done. And then next week they come and the other team also goes. So going on a basis to ensure that we keep social distancing, and at the same time the work has not suffered. The work is going on as we try to embrace the new normal.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, there's been a lot of team rotation, people being held accountable for their work, because we know also there are some people who hide behind the inefficiencies, and this has been a fantastic time for the lazy bones. Sorry to call them lazy bones, around people who don't want to perform and stuff like that. Of course, we don't want to micromanage people, but one of the things is that we can hold people accountable. I'm giving you a job last week, but we had a very nice seminar, a very nice webinar, which are on transactional leadership. And we talked about transactional leadership being very important at the workplace, especially during this COVID time, where some people have to be managed a little bit more, supervised a little bit more. And we know that some organizations also put in systems to be able to see, have you finished this task? How long have you been on this task? When did you finish it? Because some people, we can't trust them to do what they are supposed to be doing without them being supervised. So that's important if that need be. But one of the things that we want to make sure that we also give people an opportunity to show themselves that they can be trusted and they can deliver high quality work. Okay. So what makes a good coach? Who would be a good coach when you think about a coach? Who makes a good coach? When you think a coach is someone who would never give you an answer, who should be able to partner with you to get you to the next stage. Yeah. So a coach should be able to build rapport, should be empathetic, should have very good listening skills. Listening skills are hard, communication skills and overcoming resistance, good communication skills. My coachee has a lot of resistance towards coaching. my coachee has a lot of resistance towards this problem that they want to solve. You know, how can I nudge them to be able to move forward and to come out of their comfort zone? Ability to understand human behavior, very important, is in the area of emotional intelligence. If you don't have this book in your library, please buy it for yourself as a Christmas gift. The Emotional Intelligence by yeah, how can I need to send my daughter upstairs to go and get it. Who's the great author of Emotional Intelligence? We all know him anyway. So problem solving and negotiation skills, very important. Ability to be able to negotiate and problem solving skills are critical skill that even the World Economic Forum has said is one of the critical skills that every leader and everybody has to build. Forward thinking and proactive, flexible yet consistent, enthusiastic, and commitment to the individual. You know, and that is important even at the workplace. A manager who's enthusiastic and committed to the team. The manager who shows up every day. If it's a coaching session, then I will show up. I will not be falling short of what it is. Okay, great. So, do you have this? Do you think it's things that you can learn? Do you have some of these? Are these some of the skills that you possess as an individual? Do you believe? Do you fall short of whatever? So, as a good coach, even at the workplace, when you are coaching diverse teams, building rapport, how do you build rapport with someone from a totally different culture in a multinational setting, like one of the people asked here? So how do I build rapport with, let's say, a Nigerian? What is our, how do we stereotype them, Nigerians? How do we stereotype them?
Loud.
Yeah.
They're loud.
They're loud, isn't it? Oh, they're loud. We can hear them talk 10 kilometers away. Why can't they just tone it down? Are they loud? For sure. Do we feel that? Do we believe that they're loud?
They're proud.
They're proud.
Proud and loud.
They're loud and proud. Oh, Robert. Hey. Is that true, or is it something that we have just we have prejudice?
I think they have a high self-esteem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they are not afraid to show it.
Exactly.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And that's true. You go to Nigeria, you go to their market, he's asking change in the other estate. You know, literally someone who is called their name from there. Okwonkwo, you wonder, oh my gosh, really, you guys, you know? So that's their nature, that's their culture. So just because we judge people using our own standards, we just think, do you have to whatever? But they have a loud voice. They have very high self-esteem. And we think high self-esteem, you think better than the other person, and we just think you're proud. So it's important for us to be able to look at the other culture, be able to understand it, and know how to build rapport with that person. Where are we going to make sure that we can converge so that we are able to respect one another and to look at how diversity can be our strong advantage. Diversity, our strong advantage, knowing someone from a different culture, a different country, you do things differently. Catherine comes in the morning and she does not say hi to people. She'll only start saying hi at 11. Sasa 11 and mid-afternoon, watu anaangalia wanashindwa, ala, what should you be doing? But ability to understand personalities. Catherine will be at her peak in the afternoon. Asubuhi amekaa tu hivi akiangalia newspaper. Is it a bad thing to look for a newspaper? Maybe that is what you need to do. Maybe it's not allowed at your workplace. But if I'm only giving you 2 hours of my time and that 2 hours will be the best. Remember, fourth industrial revolution, what we'll be doing is people will have a gig economy where I'll say, I'll only work for you for 2 hours. After that, I'll be gone. Is that going to be allowed at your workplace? So ability to understand the other person, to build rapport around a multicultural environment plays a key role in the kind of culture that we will form in the organization. All of us coming from different cultures, the face of Kenya, and we have all gotten ourselves in this organization, we start building that culture based on our business, based on our beliefs and our norms, our values. So all that is continuously growing, but how do we accommodate each other? And as a coach, it is important. As an individual, it is important. And that's why conflict occurs, because we are not taking time to build rapport. We are not taking time to understand the other person. We are not taking time to build strong cultures in the organization. Whose responsibility is it to build to build culture in an organization? Whose responsibility is it, in your opinion? Yes, Elizabeth?
In my opinion, I think it is the responsibility of HR team.
The HR team to build the culture of an organization. Someone else?
Hi, Catherine.
Hi.
I feel that the organizational culture is mostly rooted on the values that the company holds.
Yeah.
So even if a HR comes in, it's not necessarily the responsibility of, I guess, everyone. If everyone in the organization is living up to the culture, the values of the organization, then the culture of the organization is, I don't know if I'm making sense, is needed in that sense. That's what I believe.
Exactly. Everybody plays a strong role in building the culture of the organization. Management and the board can set the can set the parameters, but everybody, because I'm coming with moral standards, the basic moral standards in this world: respect, integrity, tenacity, those standards that everybody in the world should have, but some people don't have them. But when we come in, then we have perfected our culture based on many years of experience, the kind of business that we are in, and the kind of people that we want to attract. So that's one of the things. HR will continue being an enabler of culture. And that means that they bring in programs that support the culture. They keep working with the management to make sure that some of the things that need to be communicated are communicated. Who's communicating? I mean, everybody needs to set a good example in how culture plays out in the organization. But sometimes I keep on telling people is that HR, it's squarely sometimes put on HR because of it's a people thing. But your work is to become an enabler in terms of the programs that you need to bring in the organization. So that is very important in the area of rapport building. So, so let's look at the principles of coaching. Someone read them out for us. The other slides I've skipped is about the characteristics of a good coach, just going in depth of who a good coach is. Principles of coaching.
Can we read the principles of coaching?
Yeah.
The first is trust and rapport building, active listening, powerful questioning, feedback, non-judgmental, self-awareness, and empathy.
Good. Thank you very much. Yeah. So we want to look at if anything, it's just like the principles. What are the principles of HR? We have strong principles of HR, isn't it? Very strong principles of HR. So these are the key principles of coaching. There will be many other principles, but these 7 really define whether your coaching is going to work internally, whether you will become a good coach, and they're the same, the skills of a good coach are just put together. So when you look at the principles of coaching, they cannot miss for coaching to be successful in your organization. Trust and rapport building. So do you trust people on the first meet, or what happens under trust? How do you trust someone? Trust and rapport building. Anyone around? What is trust? What is when you decided to sign up for this webinar? When you think about trust, we are facilitator kweli how do you trust? How do you trust? How do you make a decision to trust someone? I hear some people say, I met them for the first day, atukuskizana, there's just something. Damu zetu hapana. I like that discussion. Tell me more about it.
Hi, Catherine. I think
Hello?
trust is built on, for me, authenticity and how vulnerable the other person is. I find it very hard to be around someone or trust someone, whichever level it is, who I feel is not being authentic, or who I feel giving me their best foot forward. But when someone tells me, I had this discussion and this challenge was going on here, and then I'm also learning these areas, and I'm not an expert in this, but I'm glad to walk your hand. That shows me that this is someone who's also who's also teachable and also learning on their own. So
yeah.
I look for more progress than perfection. So for me, that builds trust and rapport, rather than having everything else. So if someone comes up and they look like I've got it all, got this all figured out, I'm the guru in this, blah blah blah, already shut off.
Yeah. It's true. We build trust over time. You can, of course, when the basic accepted standard is that when you meet someone, you hope that they're going to keep their side of the bargain. Whether it's an employee, whether it's you're at the matatu stage, and I'll go to the matatu stage after this, and I want to go to a certain destination, and I believe that the matatu that comes and stops at the stage I board, they're going to take me to my whatever. And along the way, until they they change route and they're caught by police, they didn't comply, and they throw me off guard in the middle of nowhere, and I lose trust, isn't it? So the onset is that if I meet you, we have a commitment, both of us will trust each other. Along the way, the trust continues building. We really can trust each other, just like what Diana said. I'm authentic enough, even if I'm the expert here, and say, hey, I need to go and check. Here, I don't know. And that's what we need. Two types of leaders, two characteristics of leaders in the 21st century: leaders who are vulnerable and leaders who have humility. Those two things we really must be able to ensure that we are working on as much as we can. Yeah, so that is important for us to be able to build that trust until someone breaks that trust, and some trust, when it's broken, cannot be built again. So that's important. At this stage of coaching, we are saying that I trust you. Whatever we talk here is confidential, and it will not be going out to another party. I know many people are nosy by nature, very nosy. Some people are more nosy than others. And especially managers who are just kimbelembele, kiherehere, where we'll come and say, Catherine, so you're coaching Diana. And they're thinking, oh, Kujo Upole, what have you guys been discussing? Tell me. Those are nosy people. And in the contracting stage of whatever, we have a contract. This is what Diana would like to, whatever. She would like to get to the next career of the next stage of her career. And she has chosen to go for counseling, for coaching. The organization is going to pay for it, or we have internal coaches and stuff like that. And one of the things about internal coaches, why do some coaches have more people to coach than others? So me, hakuna mtu kuja coaching. I'm a coach. I'm a certified coach in the organization. Let's call ACHRP was our company. We all work here. And the three of us, let me just read out the way the panel is sitting now. There is Catherine, Diana, Beatrice, and Robert. Catherine never gets anybody to coach, but Diana, Beatrice, and Robert, they're overbooked and they're overfull. You know, we have a great coaching program going on in the organization. People have plugged in and it's really good. It's working for us. Catherine hardly has anyone. In fact, maybe it's just the people pleasers who, yeah, okay, bas, wacha tu niende tu Catherine, at least apate moja. Why? What would be the reason that people do not go to a certain person for coaching while the other three are fully booked all the time? Unmute yourself. Why? What would be the reason? Anyone? Confidentiality, very true. Someone else? Please unmute yourself. Why would I have more people going to a certain coach compared to someone in the organization? What would be the problem? What would be the reason? They're obvious, we've talked about them. Please unmute yourself.
I think to me the issue of creating rapport is very, very key. Whereby as a coach, you need to create an environment where the coaches feel warm, feel they can trust you, and they feel that you have got that genuine concern to be there for them. Such an environment, they set up the environment, it is safe, whereby they feel that they are welcomed. They are welcome and they trust that you will be there for them. It's very, very important.
Very true. About a coach being able to endear themselves to someone else can never be underestimated. A person who keeps confidential information as it is only communicates when it is necessary to communicate, and has also had that conversation. Hey, now you tell me you killed someone yesterday. We need to report that to the police. You get what I mean? There are some instances where confidentiality needs to be broken. Okay, so this refers to the ability to create a safe, supportive environment that produces ongoing mutual respect and trust. This is achieved by co-creating. You remember, coaching is a partnership and relationship by establishing trust with the coachee. Active listening. How do we listen as Kenyans? Did you watch that that interview? If you watched with Joe Ageo and the deputy vice president of the country on Citizen the other day, I stopped watching it. Ask me why. Who watched it? Apart from just watching it because maybe you wanted to listen to what it is, or just maybe out of interest that the DP is being interviewed. Anyone?
I did.
You did. And?
Well, this is Joseph.
Yeah.
Well, at some point, the conversation was getting emotional, and they were not listening to each other, particularly particularly from the DP. He was getting emotional at some point.
Exactly. And what Joe kept interjecting. You know, even before the DP could finish what he was saying, he had already asked another question, but countering it. That's not how we actually listen if we really want to listen. Joseph, do you want to mute? So the ability to actively listen is one of the key principles, because we want to listen to the said and to the unsaid. And as HR, unfortunately, we never hear. We are the last ones to hear exactly the grapevine talk. Nobody comes to whatever. So it is in your best interest When people give you an opportunity to speak to you, to listen to the said and to the unsaid, their body language, their demeanor, what they have to say, so that you capture everything that they have said. Use of silence is extremely important in coaching so that we don't lose out anything that they would be saying. Powerful questioning. And people who finish other people's sentences, raise up your hands. I can see all of us, you know, or whatever. Yeah, so that's important. So active listening is the ability to completely focus on what the coachee is saying, as well as what they are not saying, to understand the meaning of what is said in the context of the client's desires, and to support the client's expression. Okay. Powerful questioning. This is where, let me tell you, as a coach, this is where it goes pear-shaped. If a coach does not practice their skill every day, just like a manager, around leading their teams in a way of letting them explore some of the possibilities that they would have with the challenges that they have at the workplace. All the time, oh, the sales are not doing well. Okay, kuja nikuoneshe another way to do it. Instead of asking, what could you do better? Have you looked at different markets to be able to do this? But giving solutions all the time or bashing all the time will never get you to realize the full potential of your coachee. So this refers to the ability to ask questions that reveal the information needed to maximize benefits to the coaching relationship to the client. Questions asked need to be purposeful, isn't it? You just don't ask questions for the sake of asking questions. You need to ask questions based on the goal that needs to be achieved. I'm moving fast because of feedback, and we've talked about feedback. Managers who really, don't you like working with managers who give feedback? A very strong ingredient in coaching and relationship building. Many of us are afraid of giving feedback because we think that people will become discouraged. People will start looking for other jobs. It's fine if they're not, if they do not appreciate feedback. Feedback is actually a gift. Let's always give feedback. Let's create time for giving feedback. Let's give feedback as it goes along the way. Let feedback be timely. If you give me feedback of what I did in January and you are giving it to me in December, whether positive or negative, how is it helping me? Give me feedback in a timely way, in a diplomatic way, you know, where we say reprimand in private, praise in public. I think that's very important. We cannot overemphasize the need of giving feedback. You're doing well. You can do better. What are some of the obstacles that you're facing? What commitment are you giving? Are you going to get out of this? So very important in giving feedback. Another one is being not judgmental, where we keep on saying we judge things using our own standards. Today, look at something different, new, some of the activities that you will be doing. You're so opinionated already. Hey, okay. Leo si ule pasi wetu wa kawaida. It's a visiting pasi. Kwanza unam gauge whether you want to listen to them. Just like anything else, you know, we judge people using our own standards of the people whom we are familiar with. So it's important for us to come with a clear slate. In coaching, we come with a blank page. Let's say this my hanky, sorry. A blank page, and just putting it there with no prejudice, no biasness. You know, our unconscious biasness must be really removed. So for us to be able to be successful, because the other person, some of the opinions and some of the options that they will take, you will just be like, that's not going to work. It's like, let's say someone who is 100 kilos in weight, overweight, or even people who run marathons are 30 kilos, 40 kilos, I think at the most 45 kilos. If you're more than that, forget running a marathon and being successful like Eliud. But what I'm saying is that, let's say your coachee comes and says, you know, I'm planning to run a marathon in 31st of December to close this year. Let's say there's a big, let's call London Marathon. and they can go to the London Marathon. And that is that's their goal. That's what they want to do. And you're looking at them, you've not been practicing, you've not been eating well, you have weight on yourself that will not even let you run 2 kilometers without panting and starting to slow down. But can you say, no, even with your body demeanor, it's for you as a coach to bring them back to where they will see that indeed running a marathon on 31st of December, 3 weeks from now, is not going to be possible. I need to take a different approach for me to run a marathon. It might take me maybe 1 year of practice, but it's you can't tell them and you cannot discourage them. It's for you to navigate them back through powerful questioning, without making them feel discouraged, thinking, oh, anyway, you cannot do it. Working is just like the way, another example at the workplace, working with a difficult manager. Is quitting the only way that you can? Quitting could be one of the ways. Do you have another job ready, like this one that you say is really good, gives me, the only thing here is working with a difficult manager? Is there a way that you can maybe look at yourself? What are some of the things that you have contributed to make your manager work with you in this way? Some of those things. Is there things that you can do for your manager to see that indeed you want to work with them and you want them to be successful and you want yourself to be successful? What are some of the things that you can work? So there are always solutions around difficult circumstances. There are solutions, good solutions around your aspirations of what you want to do. Become the HR director of your organization. What does it take for you to be there when you come for coaching? You say, I want to be the director in 2 years, but the director is not going anywhere. Are there things that you can put in place so when the director opts to become the chief of HR, that you are ready to step up in that role? So things like that. Self-awareness, I said, is the ability for us to be able to know who we are. We are whole. Our conscious thoughts, our character, our feelings, our emotional intelligence will always play a big role so that our ego does not come our way. Empathy, putting ourselves as yourself in the other person's shoes, as opposed to sympathy. So empathy is a real strong ingredient in coaching. Unless I can really understand where you're coming from, putting myself in those shoes, we shall never be able to achieve what we want to achieve in coaching. So I'll always think, well, you can look for those solutions yourself. That's it's your own shauri. So those are the 7 principles of coaching. Any question, feedback? Are there things that you see managers doing? Are there things that you can put along in your coaching programs? Just making sure that these are the 7 principles and outlining them based on your organization strategy and objectives, your department's objectives. Are you able to do that? Very quickly, please unmute yourself. Even just say hello, then I have heard. I am going to do it. Even if it's just that. And then I go quickly to a model of coaching. One of the very key models of coaching, very quickly. Someone? Make sense? Happy? Anything that some of the expectations on this webinar? Qualities of a good coach, how you can use coaching at the workplace, looking at your culture, line managers being able to coach some of the skills that they will need. Is this something that your managers, whatever, or do you call them bullies when you have this? Someone, please? Anyone?
My comment would be that the first one, trust and rapport building, actually it's the key to all the rest.
Yeah. Trust and rapport building are key to all the rest. Yeah. almost unlocking without yeah, it's our very basic of contracting so that we can get into this, we can get to know each other, and after that then we are very heightened. And you know, we are not also saying that as a manager we might not use coaching all the time. There will be some places where we need to know this problem is for counseling, this problem is for mentoring. So even looking at that differentiation, but we need to ensure that as much as possible we empower our teams, because when we empower teams, they take greater responsibility, and it's also very self-sustaining, very, very self-sustaining. Okay, great. Anybody else? Thank you for that. Anybody? Demystifying coaching, what coaching is all about.
No, hi, Catherine.
Hello.
On the what makes a good coach, I've picked the three which I think to me they are very key. That is building rapport, active listening, and questioning, the powerful way of questioning.
Yeah.
I think they are very, very key, that without them, that the coaching will not be successful. And I tend to imagine that if we can also get another opportunity to be taken through the questioning, because many times you hear that you need to come up with the powerful and the right questioning.
Yeah.
But we don't go that extra mile to see what are those type of questions, how do you formulate those questions, how do you go about them, and when. Also, when it comes to active listening, we define what is listening, active listening, but going that extra mile to know what do you need to listen, and even maybe having case of like a case study, because sometimes you hear that you need to listen with, like, you are listening not what this person is saying, but you go extra mile to even listen what is not even saying. Again, you also hear that you need to listen with, like, a third ear, and you're wondering what is this? How do you
use the third ear?
Third ear, and again you hear those levels of listening. There's somebody who will listen you subjectively. There's a person who will listen you to another level. Like, how do you go about that? I think for us to navigate well in coaching, and for it to come out clearly for us and even for others to be able to execute coaching very well in our organization, we need to learn those very important. To me, they are like skills that when you don't have the coaching, the objective will not be met.
Very true.
And again, we end up.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
So, and again, I timed you in. Sorry. And again, we end up. Just finish.
And again, at the workplace, many of us, we end up confusing coaching and counseling. And I think it is something which needs to come out strongly to us, knowing the difference, and knowing that coaching, not when somebody has got that's in a mess, in a problem. Everybody needs coaching. There are those circumstances which will come across that you identify and say that in this situation, this person I think needs coaching. But when we don't have anybody to cater for that, to identify that, you find that everybody is doing things his own way. We end up thinking that this person needs coaching, and yet it's not coaching, it needs counseling.
Exactly.
You end up thinking that this person has not performed well, it needs counseling, and yet it's not counseling. This person just needs maybe coaching, or maybe he needs membership. Having those ways to differentiate, like the 3 or the 4, which seems to be somewhat similar in a way.
Exactly, and that's what maybe the notes are the notes which are going to be on the ACHR people analyze and demystify what is coaching, what's mentoring, what's counseling. And I agree that sometimes we really tend to confuse those, and they can be used interchangeably. But now, since we really understand what coaching is, the definition of coaching, I'll not give you solutions, and coaching is not for losers. It's to make sure that people aspire to get to their full potential. you will use creative ways to be able to partner with you, thought-provoking processes and questions for you to be able to get there. I also agree that there are 5 levels of listening. 5 levels of listening. So homework today is for you to go and look at those 5 levels of listening and relate with your own self which level you are at. Sometimes we use different levels of listening depending on the circumstances, on the environment, and the person and the audience who's talking to us. So it's important for us to be very self-aware of these principles of coaching, because they are the ones which make or break. Powerful questioning around value for your money. When you go to a coach and say, aha, coach, I've gotten it. There is nothing good when a coach hears that, even as a line manager. Aha, Catherine umeipata leo, nimefurahi sana. Hey, now you're on a different level of what it is. So it's important, even when we explain that. And thanks, Liz, for bringing it out in terms of another session just to look at the key principles of coaching and how you use that, and also a real life demonstration. If we were in a physical class, everybody present, I like even to bring a coaching demonstration just to show you how coaching is. And after that, we have a debrief of what it is. One of the questions that we never use in coaching, even as human beings, would be starting a question with why. Why are you late? Why have you not met the deadline? Why are you always not adhering to the company rules and policies? In your opinion, why shouldn't we use the word why? Why shouldn't we start our sentence with the word why? Or even, and it's easy. We'll use why. Why are you late? Why haven't you met the deadline? Why are you always so like this? And we put emphasis even and our body demeanor changes. Why shouldn't we use why?
When you use why, it's like you've already made a decision that the other person is wrong, and the other person is now being put on the defensive.
Very true. You've already judged the situation. The other person automatically becomes defensive and doesn't give you the opportunity. That person doesn't give you the opportunity to relate with you. Imeisha hapo. Why are you late? You don't even know whether last night I had an emergency in my house. I have taken time to come to the office 1 hour late. You miss the opportunity to empathize with this employee. 1 hour will not make, if it's a habitual late comer, you should have addressed it by then. But just one day I come in late and you go ballistic. You get what I mean? We know those kind of managers. You don't even know whether my child got so ill at night. I spent the whole night in hospital. I had to wait for them to wake up for me to show the nanny of how to give medicine during the day. You missed the opportunity to tell me, I am sorry that your child is sick. You need to go home and work from home today and look after your child. You missed the opportunity to build rapport and trust with me. And that's why we start eroding culture. Slowly, things like this. Kitu tu kidogo tu kama hii. And I will never tell you when it's good things are happening to me, and the transaction we'll have is transactional leadership. Nikupe. And that's what we talked about, transactional leadership, last week. It becomes very difficult if you will continue having transactional leadership at your workplaces. You will never get to the level of coaching. So very important for us to think about why and how you miss the opportunity of the other person whom you are aggressing to get through to you. Okay, great. So thank you for that. And thanks, Beatrice, for just letting us get it to the next level. Liz. So if when you meet a coach, the one thing you will ask them, if they are for you to know that they have been certified by ICF, and now you can brag. You have some bragging rights around coaching. Definition of coaching, which is the body that regulates coaching worldwide, world over, and stuff like that. What are some of the principles for coaching? You'll be able to relate. Does this coach listen well and stuff like that? You can be able to ask them, what's your primary coaching model? And watakuangalia, Allah, there's a coaching model. There are many coaching models, but I want us to look at the very popular and simple one that everybody uses, and every manager can use this one, and it's very relevant at the workplace. So people will tell you, I'm a grow coach, I'm a coactive coach, I'm a solution focused coach, I'm a gestalt coach. There are many sorts of coaching models. And how do you know which is the right coaching model for you? As you practice more your coaching skill, you become better and you gravitate towards one, and one that makes you comfortable around how to use it, and also your personality also gravitates you towards that. It's just like what you enjoy most as a HR practitioner. There's some people who are very strong in comp and ben, isn't it? Learning and development. There's some people who are strong in recruitment. Even when you put your teams together, they're generalists, but you know that Beatrice loves learning and development. If you give her that, she will shine and she will run with it, you know? So it's the same. And also when people say, I'm an executive coach, I'm a life skills coach, I'm a business coach, I'm a sports coach. It just depends with their interest in life, you know? So if you love to work with professionals like me, you'll become an executive coach. If you love business and an entrepreneur, you'll coach people in that arena. You get what I mean? So gravitating. So as long as they're using the principles of coaching, it is okay, because the end goal is to make sure that people get to the next level of where they want to be. And it's sustainable as well. So this GROW coach is very easy. GROW stands for G is goals, R is reality, O is options, and W is wrap up or wheel. So under the goal, it's just like holding your meeting at your workplace. I like to give an illustration around a meeting at your workplace. You'll always have a goal, and you will discuss the current circumstances around that goal. Business is not doing well. What is the current situation? The pandemic came and threw us off balance. We were not able to, the environment changed. Our suppliers were not supplying in good time. Our clients slowed down because they also could not afford, and stuff like that. We lost some of the best talent. We had to lay them out. So we are talking about the current circumstances of what's happening, you know, and then after that, we are starting to say, so we have this problem. How are we going to solve it? What are some of the options? Who will be helping us? What are some of the resources we will have? What are the cons and the pros and cons of taking up this? What are some of the obstacles that will be coming our way? And then we say, aha, this option we are taking is really a good one. We believe that we can be able to implement it. We're able to analyze it. We're able to win. And if option A does not work, also option B would work, but it might take just a bit longer for us to get there. So you get what I mean? So it's the ability to have a systematic way, but also we are not saying that we are so rigid. So you go to a coach, oh coach, nimekuja. Oh, karibu. So we contract and we are happy and whatever, but we just say, oh, so what's your goal? And we take 5 minutes. Oh, goal setting, imeisha, session and whatever. Reality, tell me about reality. It's a nice conversation around this challenge that you're trying to discuss and to find a solution. I keep equating it to you and your best friend going to a restaurant to have coffee. The conversation is natural. It's also the same thing like line managers. A line manager who really understands how to lead their teams. It's no brainer. Challenges will come. we look at the challenges. Hard feedback is expected to be given. I will give feedback in the best way that we know how. Work needs to be actualized. It's a revolving wheel, but around motivating people, giving leadership, showing the direction. So it's not like, oh, so today, this is what we'll be focusing on. No, that's not. And that's not what happens in real life. So that's in a wrap-up stage. We are making sure that we are giving back feedback and we are getting to the next level that needs to be done. So that's a very easy, it's a very easy model that anyone can use. There are many other models that you're welcome to try out and to use so that you can be able to become better. So as you practice more and more, you definitely get better and better. Any question around that? I'm moving a bit first. A very popular by Sir George Whitemore. The model provides a structure for coaching discussions with more experienced learners. The less experienced learners, the process can be time-consuming and often a bit complex, but it is not. It is a very simple process around us being able to navigate what is happening. As long as people understand what coaching is, then there's no way that they will not be able to understand the outcomes and what needs to be achieved. Anyone at their workplace who uses coach, who's met this model? Thank you. Thanks for the feedback on the chat. A coach should be relatable. No
Ma'am
doubt.
Catherine.
Yes, Sarah?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
I know for the purpose of this training, you have used the GROW model, but maybe later you could maybe advise on a model that one can best use for less experienced learners, because I mean, this environment where I'm working with very young, inexperienced managers, team leads, and which would be best, because you've said this one is for more experienced learners. So maybe you can suggest one that is, you can maybe suggest a model that would best suit the lesser experienced learners.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. And the thing is that, thanks, Sarah, when we say less experienced learners is people who do not understand what coaching is. So you're coming in as a coach, you remember that as a coach has the skills, understand what coaching is. And then I'm bringing in learners in my organization to start talking about coaching. So one of the things that we will need to do in an organization is to demystify what coaching is, to make sure people understand what coaching is and where coaching can take us. You remember where in a session just before this, where we say what the importance of coaching, the benefits of coaching in an organization. So once they start understanding that, now when we start coaching, we can use a model as easy as GROW. You get what I mean? Because that's why I say an easy, a good example is even how you hold your meetings at the workplace, isn't it? You have an objective. So for people to come up and say, I'm knowledgeable, I'm able to, I have this challenge, but I know I have the knowledge to be able to surmount it. I have the motivation to be able to go through it. I am whole. I know I'm not perfect, but I know my emotional intelligence is up to here. So it's starting from the beginning of understanding what coaching is in an organization and using a systematic way to be able to look at how to coach in an organization, especially for like a line manager. How do I make sure that I use this? The others are the coactive coach. Like for me, I'm a real strong coactive coach. As others use solution model coach. Gestalt is, I find it very complicated. There are only like 4 Gestalt coaches in the country. So it's what you are comfortable in. As long as we are using the principles of coaching for us to be able to understand what coaching is and what it's able to achieve, the models really come naturally. Okay, so the models just give you a more structured way of how you're going to conduct your coaching sessions. Is that okay, Sarah?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, great. Scholar, thank you for this. At a former workplace, we aligned our performance improvements plan to the GROW model. Okay, fantastic. How did you do that, Scholar? Were you deliberate in knowing what the GROW model was?
Yes.
I said that, yeah.
Yes, yeah, we were deliberate. One thing that I experienced before and even now is that, and probably I might gain a lot of understanding of this area from this session today. According to me, when staff do not improve, they need to be coached and put on an accelerated coaching. Those are the PIPs, So at the former workplace, we aligned intentionally, and we were also trying to because previously I would hear, and even now I keep hearing PIPs like a punishment. And I don't think I agree to that. I will want to hear what other HR people think. I don't think a PIP is a punitive tool. Okay, I think it's just a supportive tool to help someone grow. So I would want to still adopt the same in this organization where I'm in, so that I really liked the GROW model because there was objectivity in the process. There was it was now no longer punishment as such to get onto a PIP. It also held managers accountable to ensure that they support their staff, intentionality to support staff to grow in the areas where gaps were identified. So I found it very effective. I was actually leading in that process of transforming it that way for that purpose. And even now in my new organization, not so new now, I think it's something we can adopt. But I would like to hear, what do you think about PIPs? How are they had? What do people think about PIPs? Because I think it's just a coaching opportunity, accelerated coaching or something. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. People on PIP, when you put people on PIP, how do they feel? When I'm put on PIP, it's the end of the world for me, isn't it? You've actually put me in ICU.
Hey, Catherine.
Yeah.
PIP, when an organization I was in, PIP was literally for that, for your improvement. And even if anyone was put there, the only downside was it affected, because it would come at the end of the performance review. The effect would be your increment the next year. I mean, the next year. That would be the first part, but it was done in such a private and confidential manner that no one would know except maybe the person on PIP, the HR, and the manager, that this person was on PIP, and you know that you need to improve and actions are taken, and the various people are put in, but it wasn't the end of the world. Flip side, a few years later, it changed to, on PIP, you're going to get fired. That was it.
Get fired,
it was used as a tool to get rid of an employee who they felt that they did not want in the organization anymore. So what the moral behind it, the use of it changed as it went. So it ceased being a tool for growth and for change and for improvement.
Wow,
so
nice.
You're just gone.
Wow, terrible. You better even resign and start looking for another job, eh? Terrible. Yeah. Someone else, PIP experience and how we should approach PIP, performance improvement plan. Someone else? Please unmute yourself. So in my opinion and how I have handled PIP, it's not perfect. If I was to be put on PIP as Catherine, what are the consequences and why would I be put on PIP? You remember employee value proposition, performance management. The moment I put up my advert, I am looking for the best talent. Best talent is is debatable. We all know in this webinar that we hire for attitude, because I can train you. And it's not a perfect world. So even if I will not know whether you can feign it for the next 6 months, and then you are ugly, your glare becomes so ugly after 6 months, we see your true colors. We always hope that I will bring people who will fit into the culture. Culture plays a big role, and then performance management. So how you come into the organization from the day we put up the advert to the time you separate, we are actually we are working on your performance. We are in it together. And I say that because if something is happening, if Catherine has stopped performing, dropping balls, we should have that discussion there and then, isn't it? We gave you this task, you didn't execute it to the best of your ability. Is there something that we need to know so that we can help you? It would be very unfortunate that I'm working from January to December. Let's say that's when our financial year ends, and you put me on PIP. It's very unfortunate if whatever, because then if we are discussing performance every day, that is the way that we are working in this organization, would we even have people on PIP? No, because we have open communication. You have poor attitude. You are not espousing the culture and the values of this organization. We are having hard conversations. And these are the consequences. If you continue doing this, these are the consequences as per the policy. And we put you on those consequences. Consequences also means that we do not want you working in this organization anymore. We have to take those hard decisions. But continuous poor performance could also be having an underlying problem that we need to be cognizant of. Have we tried to find out what's happening to Catherine? Over the last 3 months, something has just happened. So we need also, there's too much. And that's why HR it's difficult, because we don't want to dig in to find out what has suddenly happened to Catherine's performance anyway. But if we are having those conversations around how we gauge performance in this organization, it's on a day-to-day basis because we're engaging with you, then we hardly should have people on PIP. That's not to say that no organizations are perfect. But if we are giving feedback every day, every time we get an opportunity to give feedback, then we lessen the burden of how PIP is also looked at in an organization. Because then we know that if we are not people-centric, PIP means that no monetary increment, no bonus. And it's a basis of when things are, people who need to go, you've been on a PIP. They don't even need you. You get what I mean? It's a lazy way of sometimes managing people in an organization. So PIP will continue to be feared because of the consequences of what it brings. No bonus, no monetary increment, no merit increment, whatever it is, things will be held from us. I'll be put under scrutiny and I'm under pressure. But if we are using coaching as a way of telling people, we are giving you an opportunity to improve. And please improve because we want you to be successful. Then we have lesser of these things. And line managers also taking time to give feedback and to show people how to do work. But sometimes, people do not adhere. And that's why we need to put them on PIP. But even when we are putting people on PIP, either 3 months, 6 months, or whatever it is, we're evaluating it as we are going along. We say, this is an area that you need to work on. We are objectively looking into it. You've not been able to achieve. We are struggling with you being there. Is there anything that we can do better? Put in consequences as well. Consequences which are fair, that someone says, anyway, if I had not been called out, I would be worse off. So even when we start having those discussions of PIP, it's for us to let people know that it's for your own benefit. We don't want you to go, but it's not aligning. to the organizational values and objectives. And unfortunately, we've tried for such a long time. It now has to have a structured way that is documented for us to be able to do that. So it's again a HR function to let the organization know why PIPs are important, when PIPs need to be put in place, what needs to be addressed in that PIP, and also some of the consequences if you don't adhere to that. Of course, it demotivates people for people to be on PIP. But if you are managing their performance well from the time they got into the organization, then they know that when it's long coming anyway, I need to be put on PIP. And this are some of the consequences. You'll miss this, you will miss this, you will miss that. But again, it must be time. It must be timely. You've not done this, this has whatever. And then tumejaribu yote yetu, we put you on PIP. Someone else of a different opinion? And people will always be in and out of PIP. I see that even today. Even a model, even when you work for Google, you work for Facebook, where you work for the best companies in this. I saw a list of 100 top companies to work in this country this week. You saw it? I'm sure when you ask HRs there, people on PIP all the time. People are don't cares as well. You know that, eh? Like people also don't care. They really don't care. They put me on PIP. It's okay. After all, I'm used to these things. That's a bad attitude to have. Anybody else? Do I make sense? Anyone? Triza, Wangoi, Faith, Margaret. I'm just picking names. Susan, Karanja. Anyone? Do you would like to say anything about that? Mm-hmm. Anyone who would like to? You're right, Catherine, about the continuous performance feedback before PIP as one way of consequence management. Thank you. Anyone? Okay, great. Feel free to chime in as we go by. So the last few of the slides is around. Sorry. So who's a boss? A boss versus a coach. A boss talks a lot. Talks. Don't give anybody in the nini. And then tukitoka huko nje, namwambia aliongea yake yote kwa hiyo meeting hata kutupatia nafasi ya kuongea. They can do the work after all. They are the bosses. They get paid much. That's how the discussion ends on the corridors as people are going to their respective offices. But a coach listens a lot. A boss tells. A coach asks. A boss presumes. And a coach explores, seeks to control, seeks to get commitment. A boss orders. On the other side, the coach really challenges. The boss works on to keep distance, you know, and the works on with and to make contact. You remember the partnership, and assigns blame, takes responsibility. Don't you love a line manager who comes and says, hey, I'm going for this meeting. I'll take the bullet for you guys. Love when those words are used. I'll take the bullet, but we'll come and debrief. Let me just take full responsibility. They go for ESCOM. They are bashed, you know, takes full responsibility and says whatever. They never say it is Catherine who was squarely to blame. You know, comes back and says debrief. Let's see what went wrong here. What would have done better? You know, how can we make this, how can we make it better? That's the same thing. And also on the reverse, it's the same.
Unapika chai na sufuria gani?
Na hiyo sufuria ya kupika chai ya kawaida, si ya ugali. Love Zoom.
Sorry,
meetings.
Catherine. Sorry.
No, that's okay. I'm coming for tea. That's okay. Don't worry. So it's the same where they don't take credit. They go back. My team did this. You know, it's if it was not for the team, we would not have been able to achieve these results. Instead of them saying, yeah, I'm a good leader. That's why we achieved this kind of results. You can relate with this kind of moving from being a boss to moving to being a coach and a leader. You know, it's not just I'm a coach and whatever. It's just moving into being really a strong leader. Okay, so we can coach upwards, and that's how it is. Coaching upwards meaning coaching the individuals who report directly to the coach or to the line manager. There are several benefits individuals, because this coaching culture that we can see, and those are the benefits. We can coach upwards, you know, relating to, we can coach upwards, meaning that we coach the C-suite. We can also coach downwards, meaning that we coach the peers, and we can also coach sideways, you know, out with our peers and stuff like that, you know. So that's how it is. I'm moving fast just in the trying to manage time. So those are the traditional organizations. And because we really love to be traditional, we'll be stuck for a long time in our traditional ways. It's a good one. When we said, whom do we promote? We promote the person who has been in the job for a long time. We promote the person who is a good individual performer, but we have no idea whether they will be able to promote a team. So that's that, to lead a team. So that is important for us to come out of our traditional silos and look at a more holistic way of doing things, in a more agile way, in a more innovative and in a more creative way. Okay, so I will. So this is a very important one. When we start coaching, how do we make sure that it is effective to the teams? We set the ground rules. We create a supportive and safe environment. We agree on the rules, on the goals and the objectives of what we want to achieve. We analyze the current situation and come to an agreement in terms of what needs to be to be agreed. And then we make a plan, and we all make a plan, and we look at some of the obstacles that we shall be facing and what needs to be done. And we gain commitment from the individual to take the necessary action, and we monitor the situation, and we provide feedback, you know, really at the place of work, even at how we want to be managed as individuals. This is how we want to be managed, you know, creating great relationships, creating trust, empowering me to do that, giving me feedback and open communication. Okay, great. Okay. So benefits of coaching cannot not be overemphasized. We already dealt with that. And we look at myths. I think that's very important. Coaching is not for losers. Coaching is for winners. Coaching is about filling leadership behavior gaps. No, coaching is about an impossible future and changing your life. Coaching is a separate leadership development activity. No, coaching it should be integrated in the leadership development and results. Coaching is a process consultant who asks questions from a distance. We remember that coaching is like a sports coach at a playing field. Whoever, whatever it takes to win, it's a true partnership. Coaching is an activity that happens during annual reviews. No, coaching requires continuous and continual communication. And thank you for bringing up that question around PIP. We saw that it's a continuous activity. If we don't want people to be put on PIP, it's continuous communication. It's making sure that we address the issues that really come up there and then in a timely way and within the context of the policies and some of the consequences that can follow if they are dire. Okay. So key learnings from coaching. Coaching is the most effective way to develop your staff and employees. I can never ever emphasize that. It works. Coaching is key to managing multiple priorities. Coaching leads to improved employee performance, which lead to increased productivity and bottom line results. Coaching increases self-esteem and job satisfaction. Nice, yeah. Oh, that's the end of our coaching session. Questions? Questions? Feedback? Was it useful? I'll stop share and we can go back. Feedback, was it useful? Did you enjoy it? Yeah, you can, thank you for those questions and answers around whether you can earn a CPD point. Yes, you're able to, Nini. You're able to do that. Someone else, so unmute yourself. Was it useful? Anybody? Was it useful? Did it meet your expectations? Unmute yourself, then just say hello. It was okay. Feedback. It's time for feedback and what you learned out of it. What will you be taking back? The one thing that really stood out for you then. The one thing that really stood out for you.
Morning, Catherine.
Morning.
Out of the tea issue.
Yeah.
This is Faith. Thank you. It was a powerful presentation. I've really learned. And I think I'm taking back the listening bit, being a keen listener, and also the continuous assessment bit so that we avoid the PIPs at the end of the year. And I've actually picked quite a number of issues to do with the coaching. I can see some errors that I've done quite repeatedly. So I believe I'm going to be a better coach. Thank you very much.
You're most welcome. Thank you, Faith. Yeah. So it's that's why I keep on saying this. It just reemphasizes what we know and what we can do better, and some of the things that maybe we have not been doing too well, to make sure that we can steer the river back to its course. Someone else? Someone else?
Hi, Catherine.
Hi.
The presentation I've really appreciated. But I'm really wondering the true meaning of PIP. You know, I'm still green. I don't understand.
The true meaning. Or what PIP? Performance Improvement Plan? Is that is it the yes, yeah, Performance Improvement Plan? Yeah, that's what it stands for. That's what we were looking for. PIP. Yeah, you know, sometimes you see use of jargon. You sorry, Wangoi. We just assume here all of us understand what it is. Sorry, yeah. PIP stands for Performance Improvement Plan. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Someone else?
Hello, Catherine.
Hello, Sarah.
So for me,
we lost you there, Sarah.
So for me, Catherine, I think what I've really taken home is to take off my boss hat and put on my coaching hat, because I can look at a lot of what the boss is.
Yeah.
And I think for a long time I've been a boss. As much as I love to think I'm coaching, for a long time I've been a boss.
Yeah.
And at least now I know that there are different styles of coaching. And I'm ready to implement the GROW model, because and especially linking it, the fact that you can coach, the performance improvement plan should actually be taken as a coaching, as a, what do you call it, situation.
As an opportunity.
Yes, and as an opportunity for coaching, and not an opportunity to use that as an opportunity to get rid of somebody. Yes, so at least now I'm more enlightened to conduct a performance improvement plan, because I think it has, like you've said, it has been a lazy way of just managing people, because you just put somebody on PIP and you've already given up on them. You don't care. It's just a process, so that maybe you don't have legal consequences.
Yeah.
But
true.
now I see it is a positive thing and can be used to improve, that can actually bear good results if used well. Yes, so that's my take home for today.
Wow, fantastic. And also making sure that everybody is successful at the workplace. Yeah. Thank you, Sarah. Someone else? Anybody else? Anybody else before we call it a day?
Hi, Catherine.
Hello.
I think for me, in addition to the principles of coaching, I'm also taking on the GROW model, which has come out very clearly. And to me, I'm looking at it that it is like all way round like a lifestyle model, not only at workplace, but also at home, in the society, engaging with others. Just for me, it has come out clearly, whereby you can use it all across, even to the teenagers, to the people in the society. When you're exercising your leadership skills, I think the GROW model is the best. It comes out clearly for us to move from that level to another higher level. And it come out, it's like you just move. It helps you to move easily. If you have an issue, to just help you to move from that level to another level with much than before. Thank you so much. And we appreciate all the trainings you have been taking us through. We really appreciate you. Are doing a great work. Thank you.
Oh, well, thank you, Elizabeth. Yeah, thanks for the feedback. One of the things that we can challenge ourselves is how to use coaching in all facets of life. At home, in the society, at our businesses, at our various leadership roles, and also at the workplace. Coaching can be used anywhere. So thank you, Liz, for reminding that. Whatever. Yeah. Anybody else? Anybody else? Great session. My take. Yeah. Yes, Joseph.
Well, thank you very much for first and foremost meeting you in this forum.
Yeah.
And the course has come handy, because this is the time most companies are conducting their performance reviews. And because at the end of the year, at the end of the day, we require these skills to manage the process. HR is at the forefront to manage the process. And therefore, the skills we have learned today, in particular, how to manage the PIP using the coaching skills, are very, very critical. I think this is a course that every line manager who drive the process should go through. It's not just the HR. It is a very useful course for the managers. And for us, HR, who coordinate the process, it is quite a very important process, a tool. Therefore, for me, I've learned basically the whole thing to do with the process, and also the pillars that are very important for the purpose of implementing the benefits that are available. And of course, the GROW model is very, very important for us. Wow. Therefore, it's very important for us to have these thoughts from time to time.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Yeah, and I hope that the challenge, of course, when we come for these webinars and ability to interact with each other, what are we taking back to our workplace? Is it something that that we are willing to implement? I like what Joseph is saying around every line manager should have this course. Every line manager should be able. So as HRs, can we slowly start having those discussions around, there's something called coaching, and how is coaching done, and how can it help the organization get to the next level? So well done. Yeah, thanks for challenging us on that. Okay, great. Thank you very much. If there's nobody else, Dan, good afternoon. How are you doing? Do we have any announcements for the upcoming courses or upcoming conference? I know we have a conference in Naivasha, to end the year in style with great learnings around the labor laws. Dan, do you want to say anything about that? I think he's muted. Can he even hear me? You will find the information on the next webinars on the website. You'll also be able to call Dan and find out what are the next conferences that are coming up. There's one in Naivasha this coming week. I hope you have registered for labor laws. Very, very, very good course you would not want to miss. It's 3 days of great learning, and I hope that we can continue with the interaction. So from me is to really say thank you for being such a wonderful audience as always, interacting, making sure that we are learning, keeping it alive, keeping it real as we navigate the world of work. It's to wish you a very happy weekend, and God bless you until we meet again. Enjoy the weekend. You can unmute and then just say bye, bye. See you. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Have a nice weekend.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Have a good weekend. Yeah.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody. Have a good one. Take care. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Have a good weekend. Yeah. Bye, everybody.
All right.
Yeah.